Welcome, everyone, to episode 6 of Boom Mic Banter. I am Nick. With me today is a very special guest, someone I've been hoping to have on for a very long time, but I'm only in episode 6, so it's actually not that bad. The Bearded Bullet, as every one of my friends always knows him as Paw Paw, but as I always like to call him whenever I'm being snarky, and that's Kyle. Kyle!
What's up, my dude?
How the fuck are you doing?
Good. How have you been?
Surviving. It's actually been a while since we caught up.
Yeah.
We usually are catching up on Xbox all the fucking time.
Yeah.
But it's been a weird lull, at least in my opinion, it's been a weird lull in gaming for a bit.
Yeah, I mean, you were, first of all, thank you for having me on. Appreciate it. I'm honored to be here. Thank you.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, you have some different tastes in games. So sometimes you're going balls deep in a 60-hour RPG, and I'm playing PUBG every night.
I was about to say, yep. You do have your...
But Sekiro, I mean, there for a moment we were all playing it. But sometimes... some of us got a little mad and had to get out of the party so we could concentrate.
So first of all of us dipped out of it.
Yeah.
Like, all of us dipped out of it right at the same time. I at least got through it. Oh, I have an amazing story, and this is perfect that we started recording because I know we were shooting the shit before. So, this recliner that I'm currently sitting on, and for everyone listening,
very nice
obviously
recliner.
they can't see it.
Yeah.
It's great.
Covered in cum stains. You know,
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Beer stains,
yeah,
everything.
absolutely. But, no, the problem is now, I can't lift up my footrest because on the second to last boss, I decided to put my fist through it out of the bank.
Yeah.
And it's like, so my footrest is just supported by one board. And normally I don't want to do it for the audio because it'll blow up, but usually I get the big clap. Like, I'll just be like,
right.
Damn it, fuck. Like, and so literally, so I was sitting like
just,
Indian style. So I was sitting Indian style. I had the footrest up, and it was like on my probably 40th attempt. And I'm just getting fucking murked, getting murked. I'm like, I was like, I can do this. I was like, okay. And I even did, because I've been trying lately, and I've been talking about this on a couple of previous podcasts, but I've been trying to mitigate my anger in gaming, and I've clearly failed miserably. But I was like, just count to five. And for some reason...
You got to 5.
That was it. It was literally, for some reason, I felt it so much better to alleviate my anger that when I hit 1, to just be like, get one good punch, and then you're good. Yeah. And I fucking just fucking Karate Kid it. And literally just boom. And I didn't punch through the leather, but the board itself just went fuck. And I was like, no. I was just like, no.
But you beat the game though.
Yes. So I beat the game.
I couldn't get past the first boss. So I played and then went on vacation, which we'll talk about. Yes. But I haven't gone back yet. I don't know if I will. I want to, but I feel like I was in the rhythm, even though I was dying all the time.
But that's the rhythm.
I was in the rhythm of the gameplay.
100%.
But for me, when I get mad, I slug my thighs.
Yes, I do the same thing.
And then I'm just like in pain for a second. Like, ugh. What I used to do is I would get killed in like gears, and I would like take a piece of chocolate and think I'm so fucking mad. But then it's like reinforcing I want the chocolate, so if I die, I get a treat. You know, it's the opposite of like the Pavlovian response. You know.
Yes. Well, it was more encouraging you to die, so it kept fueling you losing and then being like rewarding yourself.
But I mean, lately we're all jumping on Xbox, all playing different stuff, you know.
Yeah, I'm getting back into. Well, it's a weird lull period. I'm getting excited because like Mortal Kombat's coming out, and I'm big on fighting, and I'm gonna be exactly. And it's also not for everybody.
Right.
The one thing I keep getting mad at. And I'm backing it up to fighting games in general, but I keep getting very frustrated that, like, everyone who talks about fighting games all the time is like, it could be any fucking fighting game, but they're literally like, this one's made for new players. Like, new players are going to be, like, super enticed. And, like, that's always the biggest problem that I see with fighting games, is always, like, trying to entice... Their biggest problem is to try to entice new players. Right. Because they know the fucking dedicated fan base is going to come in. You have, like, the Dead or Alive fucking weeaboos paying... $500 for fucking half-naked skins.
Oh my god!
Did you?
Yeah, was it $100, right? For the season pass, or was it more than that?
You're correct. So here's what's crazier, because I did more research on this. Because I think I was talking to you. I called you about this. I totally forgot. So yes, the season pass 1 is $100.
1.
Oh. Wow. So adds in over like 50 character outfits and 2 characters. For $100. I did more research.
That's ridiculous.
I did more research. So I found out with Dead or Alive, they're coming out with 5 season passes.
All in a hundo?
No. Some are more. So I totaled it out. And if you wanted to get Dead or Alive 6 and get every piece of downloadable content, it will cost you $1,094.
Okay, nobody can talk shit on EA after that. Like, I'm sorry, if you get mad at EA microtransactions, that's fine. That's your prerogative. But this needs to be a bigger news story.
It blows my mind.
That is, I mean, all of that content, $50 tops.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like $10, $15 a DLC pack. Mortal Kombat's giving you like 6 or 7 characters for $40.
Well, and this is, keep in mind too, yeah, this is just cosmetics. I mean, yeah, we're getting 2 characters per major pass, but like, and these outfits aren't like super extravagant either. They're essentially reskins of a lot of the same shit. But yeah, I've never seen DLC content.
It's crazy.
That much.
I can't believe they expect people to actually pay that.
And people
there are some people that will.
There's people
it's like
that
the
do.
people who made $1,000 app on the phone, right?
Yes.
Back in the day.
That does nothing.
Dum-dums bought it for $1,000.
Just to have like bragging rights on your own fucking phone.
People are dumb. Dude.
It blows my fucking mind. But
there is no game in the history of games that I would spend that much money on.
I agree.
Like period.
Yeah. No, I
as much as
agree.
I love BioShock and Gears and Zelda, no, there is no single thing. The only thing I would spend that much money on is going to see wrestling.
Yes.
Segue. Just kidding.
No, it works out good.
It's just ridiculous. I mean,
well, that's the only. Yeah, it just completely blows my mind. And like the only thing that I've even come close, at least personally, to spending what I would consider like I need to stop spending my fucking money on is gacha games, like on my app. Like on the apps on my phone. That's the only thing where like I'll hit sometimes points with microtransaction. I'm like, I just need to fucking stop spending my fucking money.
Yeah.
But I've never, even in my lifetime of playing those games, because you can always look at like how much of a gambling addict am I? You can always look if you're ever bored of like your transaction history. I haven't even come close to any of those, and I would play. I mean, I've played those for 3 years as opposed to Dead or Alive, which you're gonna play for a year. And the more fucked up thing. Sorry, now I'm super ranting about this. The more fucked up thing is they come out with these games, for Dead or Alive in particular, they come out every 2 years, and none, even though the characters are all the same, like the roster is almost literally copy and pasted, none of the outfits transfer. And almost half of the outfits are the same from each game.
That's ridiculous.
It's fucking mind-blowing. I never understand it. It will literally confuse me until the end of time. But anyway.
They got those people who buy it, so they're going to keep doing it.
I guess.
That's the problem.
Yeah, they're going to keep... Yeah. It just fucking hurts my brain. Because like I said, we hear about fucking microtransaction and people bitching about it. And then nobody's picking up that one and just like, what the fuck?
Oh, nobody complains about Fortnite. They are the kings of microtransactions.
Yeah.
That's how their business models run. But nobody well, I guess parents complain about it.
And that's the whole other thing too. I find it... I don't have an issue yet. As much as everybody has lost their fucking shit over microtransactions, I don't have a complaint about microtransactions. I do have a problem when they make it that accessible for kids.
Yeah.
There needs to be like an age kind of... like, we should not be putting this stuff... Well, no, you know, because what is Fortnite rated T for teen? I would assume so with a gun. Fuck. Because I was just going to say, but that got fucked up already. I was going to say, like, maybe the rating, the ERCB rating should have a semi-rating in that.
Parents aren't going to put the lock on their system. It's just...
Exactly,
you know.
and the kids are going to fucking do it. Yeah. It's just a fucking
You know the Joker, the line from The Dark Knight where he's like, you know, you threaten to blow up one thing and everybody loses their mind.
Yes.
It's like... You charge $60 and give microtransactions. Everybody loses their mind, but you get the free game and everybody goes along with the plan. You know, it's ridiculous.
Yeah, I'm just still confounded by it, and we'll always keep doing it too.
Yeah.
I just like I'm never gonna be the person that holds the picket fence at the line to be like we need to stop microtransactions in general. But I do feel like there needs to be some type of limit of what the fuck you can.
Well, I guess it all comes down to what the content is.
Yeah.
You know, if I was playing the Division 2 a bunch, I'm not going to pay their currency to unlock a bunch of skins or something, but, you know, but then again, there's another, like Pokemon Go. I've dropped tons of money into Pokemon Go.
Oh, yeah. Well, and that's a game that frustrates me because, like, they'll come out. Okay, this is going to be a super weird example, but only because we're comparing app games, so bear with me. So, another popular Nintendo app game is Fire Emblem, and I play that one a lot.
Oh, yeah.
And what's kind of a little bit better with that one when it comes to expanding your roster, like how Pokemon has, is at least with Fire Emblem, every time they add in new heroes, they typically add, I'd say about, on a good month, they add 8 new characters that you could get because they're based on a loot box system. They call it some other bullshit, but it's purely a loot box system. But the problem that I have with Pokemon is like, you'll have your set, you know, fucking computer roster of like 150, But every time we're getting a new generation of Pokemon, it's like 100 plus.
Yeah.
Like, there's no fucking way that you're gonna have your storage fucking space unless you're permanently deleting Pokemon and pretty much...
Unless you're like me and can hold 1,500 Pokemon.
Bingo.
And I've bought upgrade after upgrade after upgrade.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And that's the thing, too, though. Like, normally I give people shit for doing dumb stuff like that, but, like, for Pokemon, that totally makes sense because you have to literally keep up with the fucking inventory. What the fuck are you gonna do? It's fucking crazy. I just wish, because at least, like, Fire Emblem does this occasionally, like, I think it's, like, they do it twice. They do it twice a year. So they do it in the middle of the year and then the beginning. Or whenever their anniversary is based on, whatever the fuck. But whenever they do that, they expand the roster by 50. So every time, as long as you're not wailing, you'll pretty much be okay with every added rotation.
Yeah.
But Pokemon, I think they only added their first expansion for free when they hit 3rd gen, which was like fucking insane. I think they added like 50 to your roster, but even still, that's not even enough to cover 3rd gen. Like, you literally get started in that roster, and you're like, yep, need to expand again. So
yeah, I mean, it's weird when like Gen 2 dropped. Pretty much all of Gen 2 was available.
Yeah.
Whereas in the last year or two, they released them in chunks. Like you'll be able to actively find like 15, and then eventually you'll find it's just a very weird rollout.
Yeah, you know? I don't know why they're doing it that way, and then also
maybe I guess to stretch out the gens so you're not burned out right away. You know.
Yeah, to keep people actually playing longer, because that's the other problem too. Like I only really hop back in when there's either a major event. I mean, you're playing consistently, but for me, I'm always just only hopping back in now if there's like a major event going on that I care about. Or if, hey, we added in a new gen, or, you know, or it's like, hey, new Pokemon out of this generation or something. Yeah, I don't know. Personally, I wish they were... Well, you played every day, so maybe you have a different opinion on this. And we're really going in on this, I'm surprised. But I do wish they were a little more transparent on their events. Their events sometimes are very weird. Like, they'll drop them, like, 3 days in advance, and then I'm like, what the fuck? Like,
yeah, and the only way to really know is if you look at the notification when you open up the game, or go over to the news tab. And so, like, I didn't realize there was an event on, I don't know, I guess it was, like, last Saturday or something. I don't remember what the Pokemon was. But, yeah, mutual friend Kenny texted me and our other friend Zach and was like, hey, whatever event starting in 3 hours. And I was like, oh, I didn't even know that was a thing.
Yeah, exactly.
But it only goes for 3 hours. And I got 0 shinies.
Yeah.
Whereas my employee she got 4 of them.
God damn.
She was nice enough to trade me one, but I got 0, and I had the Pokemon Go wristband. I'm catching.
Yeah, you're full.
It was Bagon. It was whatever that Bagon.
Bagon, you're right.
I caught literally like 60,
damn.
And I got 0 shinies.
It's fucked up, dude.
It's whack.
See, that's why I only play it occasionally, because they jerk me off like that. But Kyle, so going back to the original subject we were going to talk about, then we fucking started ranting. So you're on vacation. First of all, did you enjoy your vacation? Just to summarize in general before we get into the details of it.
Yes.
Okay.
I did.
You said it was a thumbs up.
Yes. Overall,
yeah,
it's there's a lot of peaks and valleys.
Yeah,
to this vacation.
yeah. We're gonna
one of the
dive
biggest
into
valleys I've ever experienced in a vacation. But yeah, it was good.
Okay, so obviously you just semi brought it up before, but the biggest event, which you go pretty much like every year, right?
This is my 3rd year in a row.
3rd year in a row, WrestleMania.
Yeah. The Super Bowl of sports entertainment.
Yeah. Yeah. Pretty much. So thoughts, opinions. Do you want to break it down? Because there was a lot of events.
Let's start off with this. You're not the biggest wrestling fan.
I am not, which is exactly why you're the one talking about this.
You indulged me back in January, and you hosted me and some friends to watch the Royal Rumble, which I wanted to go to, but I didn't.
Yes, I'm sorry. Sorry for your
So
loss.
you were kind enough to indulge us, and you, I think, maybe kind of enjoyed yourself.
No, definitely.
I mean, you don't necessarily know who all the wrestlers are.
Yeah.
But they always play videos to catch you up on story. You got me here to catch you up. So
and plus, typically too, like a lot. I mean, this doesn't happen all the time, but like normally too, there's always like a pre-monologue before the event, always too. So you're always kind of at least like, God forbid, if you're like, I don't know what the fuck is going on, you could be like, oh, she suplexed her last fucking like match, so now they're bitches. Like,
one thing WWE does very well is video packages. I feel like I don't watch a lot of other sports anymore. I used to in high school, but they do some of the best like recap packages and just videos I've ever seen in my life. I mean, if it's somebody's anniversary or like commemorating something, you'll be in tears by the end. Even though like wrestling because it's incredible. So, on
a side note, I do wish they did that in other sports. Like one thing I would love when like big rival, like just football for example. Like I'm a big Giants fan, and one thing I would love like 2 big teams that rival Giants like a lot are like Eagles, and Cowboys. And I would love, like, before every game, if we even just got, like, a 10-minute fucking compilation, like, the past, like, 4 games that they had competitive
highlights,
of, like,
black and white, like, somebody narrating it.
Yeah, fuck
exactly.
yeah, that would be awesome.
You know what? That's probably what the XFL is going to be doing, which is coming back. Anyway.
Okay, so sorry. Anyway,
so now this is my 3rd year going. First year I went to WrestleMania in Orlando and then New Orleans. This year was in Brooklyn/New York, so
which
it was
is way
closer.
Close. Yeah.
But yeah, so WrestleMania. This was WrestleMania 35. So it's been around for 35 years, longer than both of us have been alive.
Yep.
And
gnarly.
It has become, the biggest event in quote sports entertainment or wrestling. So. Sports entertainment is the term that WWE uses because it's not a sport specifically.
Yeah.
It is entertainment. It's a television show.
Absolutely.
Right? So, yeah, this year was in Brooklyn, and there are they've morphed it from one big night to 5 nights.
Okay.
And traditionally, the Hall of Fame comes the 2 nights before, and then on the WrestleMania is always on Sunday.
Yeah.
All major pay-per-views in WWE are always on Sundays. That's just how it is.
Yep.
So 2 nights before is Hall of Fame, and then the night before is the what's called NXT Takeover.
Okay.
NXT is their developmental brand, which is almost just like a complete third wing. Raw, SmackDown, NXT.
Yeah.
Newer wrestlers get signed there. People from other countries that aren't used to how the cameras and everything work.
Yep.
They go through NXT for a couple years, and then they get brought up to quote the main roster.
It's like the minor leagues.
Kind of
what we consider
absolutely.
At least. Yeah.
But it's the minor leagues if the superstar players from a different league came in.
Yeah.
People who are big. This wrestler AJ Styles came right from Japan to the main roster and debuted. He's one of the biggest wrestlers in the world. Whereas his compatriot Shinsuke Nakamura, who was with him in Japan, went through NXT for 2 years because he doesn't speak the best English. He can get used to how WWE production works, stuff like that. So anyway, that event is Saturday night, and usually that's seen as the most pure wrestling. They do have storylines, and there's angles, and there's vignettes, and there's promos, but it's not as over the top as some storylines in the main roster.
Of course.
It's a little low key.
It's more grounded.
Correct. And where they film at Full Sail University, the crowd might be like 400 people. Whereas Monday Night Raw, there's 15,000. You know what I mean?
It's fucking people are losing minds. On a side note, I did want to just ask this really quick too. So, because you're saying it's like a 5-day event, so when you get tickets, is there like an option to just only go for one of those days, or like when you get it, it's always the package?
So it's kind of like PAX East or other conventions. You can buy a package to get them all, or you just go to Ticketmaster when they each go up and you buy them. And it's not like they all go up at the same time. So Mania is always in like the beginning of April. So like maybe in August, Mania tickets will go up. 2 months later, NXT tickets will go up. So you kind of have to be in the know. If you watch Monday Night Raw, they'll say tickets go live in 2 weeks for the Hall of Fame, and then I just go on Ticketmaster
and just get the whole thing.
I buy them piecemeal.
Oh, okay.
Because I don't have buku bucks, so I can't drop $600-$800 for a package.
One sitting. Yeah,
I'll drop $200 for these 2 tickets this week, and then a month later I'll what I mean. And
do install payments.
Yeah, and half the time I have to buy through Vivid Seats, which is a second party reseller. Because Ticketmaster, they go real fast.
Well, that's always my issue. That's literally why I've missed out on like 3 concerts in the past year. Is Ticketmaster is so jerked off. Like sometimes they fuck up their timings of when they're posting times, and people go on it faster than fucking eBay. Like tickets sell out so fucking fast.
I don't get it at all because the other thing is WWE does pre-sale tickets through Ticketmaster, so they'll say. It happens a lot when I go to like an event in Hershey, or in Philadelphia. I'll go to Monday Night Raw in Philly, and they'll say, "We'll be here in 4 months. Use this promo code to get tickets tonight."
Yeah,
and then you have to like quick get on your phone to get the tickets, or run down to the box office.
Yep, it's so fucking true. Oh, so anyway, you were talking about events.
So Saturday night, so NXT is viewed as kind of like the more pure wrestling. The highest quote star rated matches, like out of 5 stars, are usually at NXT. So that's like the night you really want to get hype. Mania is Sunday, and then Monday Night Raw is Monday, and obviously Tuesday Night SmackDown is on Tuesday. So therefore, you're kind of there for the whole week.
They bunch it there all day.
I'm sure there are plenty of people who roll in just for Saturday, Sunday, and kick rocks.
The big main events,
But there are compelling reasons to go to each night. And so most years, it's Hall of Fame Friday, NXT Saturday, Mania, Raw, SmackDown. Now, this year was a little different. They flip-flopped the Friday and Saturday events.
Okay.
Couple reasons. One, there are a couple other companies around. WWE is is the NFL.
Yep.
And there's a couple other promotions, they're called, that are kind of like more important than the CFL. But
Okay.
Ring of Honor is one. New Japan Pro Wrestling is another. So those two companies had a super show Saturday night.
And obviously they
in Madison Square Garden.
Oh shit! So
which
they didn't
is
want
the
to
home of WWE
Yep.
back in the 80s. That's where they made their money.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Bruno Sammartino sold out that building like 300 nights in a row or something ridiculous. Right?
That's insane.
So they flip-flopped and they had NXT Friday night and they had Hall of Fame Saturday night.
So obviously not compete with one another.
Correct.
Yeah.
And the arena was not filled for Hall of Fame because people were probably there. And people were leaving halfway through and whatever.
Yeah.
But we had decided we weren't going to do the Hall of Fame this year. Now, if you've ever watched an award ceremony, Oscars, Golden Globes, that's what this is, but it's just honoring veterans of the business. And
which is always nice too. It's good that they do that every year.
Yeah, it's really good, but there is no physical Hall of Fame, which is a problem. It's just
oh really?
We're putting these people in quote the Hall of Fame, but there's no place. There's no Canton, Ohio, where you can go and see statues.
Oh, they really should do that.
I really want that.
They should do
that.
I
would visit that. Have interactive displays, have statues, have replica belts. You know.
Fucking outfits, like their old outfits and shit,
Dude,
just to literally get like a
Nick, They literally have a warehouse
of all this stuff, of all the props and shit.
It's like a giant museum, but it's just a warehouse. And you can go look at the ring from like WrestleMania 3 when Hulk body slammed Andre. You can see Ric Flair's robe from whatever. You know, they have all of this stuff there. Anyway.
Wow.
So this year they flip-flopped it. Mm-hmm. And so we were like, well, we already booked. I booked the hotel.
Yeah, you already planned it. Yeah,
I have the hotel booked for Tampa Bay next April, and I'm already looking at what's rumored to be LA for 2021.
Yeah. Well, you have to because that's the thing too. Because tickets will sell out everywhere,
and it's not. It's the hotel that is the problem.
Yeah.
So I'd already booked the hotel from Friday to Wednesday, so it's like, well, we're going to be there. So we decided we got to go to NXT because that's Friday night. Saturday, let's just fuck around. We're in Brooklyn. We're in New York.
Yeah. Tour around, figure it out.
But then I looked on Vivid Seats and tickets were $15 a piece. And we were like, gotta go.
Yep.
I mean, it's dirt cheap.
Yeah, $15.
Yeah, dude. And we're literally in nosebleeds, but I don't care. When Barclays Center seats maybe 18,000 people,
that's still not bad.
You really don't have a bad seat.
Yeah, that's
what
for
Mania
that many
is different,
people.
and I'll get to that.
Yeah.
So Monday night's NXT, Tuesday night Hall of Fame. I'm not going to get into the nitty gritty of who's fighting who in the matches because you don't know them, and you know. But something pretty big happened at the Hall of Fame, and this kind of permeated pop culture into
national news. I heard about this, but yeah, you were there.
One of my best friends, Dave, host of my podcast, texted me, and he was like, "What is this thing that happened?" Like he doesn't care about wrestling at all.
Yeah.
So there's this legend, Bret Hart, was huge in the '90s. A lot of big stuff happened with him. I'm not going to get into it. He is now in his probably late 50s, gray hair, not doing too well. Had a stroke recently, had concussion issues that ended his career 20 years ago.
So they're giving him Hall of Fame to be like.
So now he'd already been in the Hall of Fame.
Oh, okay.
Now he's being inducted as part of a tag team he was in with his brother-in-law, Jim the Anvil Neidhart.
Okay.
They were called the Hart Foundation. Hart, Neidhart. They were literally brothers-in-laws in real life.
Dope. Yeah.
And then they brought in Jimmy Hart, who was a manager. So the Hart Foundation. Get it? Makes sense. It's actually pretty clever. So Jim passed away last year, and his daughter Natalia is a multi-time women's champion in WWE.
Okay.
So she was accepting the award on his behalf with Bret.
Yeah.
And normally the setup, you've seen the pay-per-views, they have a big stage with the ramp down to the ring. Normally at the Hall of Fame, the podium is up on the stage. There is no ring. It's just all chairs.
Yeah.
And the floor is populated by all the superstars. They treat it as an awards event. There's a red carpet. They're in suits and they're all, gussied up. So normally they're up there. This year they changed it and they took one side of the ring ropes down and put steps up.
And then they did it in the ring.
They were in the ring, facing the hard camera.
Okay.
Which is, that's just what they call it when the camera's on the one side of the arena.
Yeah, the one solid side, I guess.
So during Bret Hart's speech, everybody started murmuring, and I'm focusing in.
Yeah.
But
you're
up in the corner,
the whole time,
some dude runs into the ring and tackles Bret.
Yeah.
And he's wearing one of those dreadlock hats.
Yeah, well,
it's like an idiot.
It was some white dude who was wearing a fucking,
like a Rasta,
one of those, fake Bob Marley hats is, what I always used to call them, because they had the fake dreads and the fucking Rastafarian hat.
Tackles Bret, everyone's like, what is happening? You know, is this
part of the event?
What we call a shoot, which is a real thing, or is it a work, which is fake? Which wrestling is a work, right? Yes. It's all predestined, whatever. So the ring fills with people. Yeah. I later found out that Travis Brown, who is Ronda Rousey's husband, Ronda Rousey at the time was the Raw Women's Champion.
Yes.
He got in there first and beat the fuck out of this guy. He's wailing on him.
Well, that was I saw from the video. It's like 4 security dudes, like 2 other. They might have been wrestlers and exactly like you were saying, but like 2 other guys that clearly were not security dudes, but everyone let them fucking go.
Yeah,
and it's just 4 guys just fucking wailing on.
I saw another shot where Shane McMahon, it's like him and Travis Brown were the first 2 in the ring.
Yeah.
It's just a dog pile on this guy. They get him out of the ring, and you can watch the footage. There's this wrestler Dash Wilder who is part of a team called the Revival. He just fucking uppercuts this dude in the face, and you see the dude he's done. He knocked him out, and this is as security's pulling him away.
Well, I was gonna say,
he's just walking.
And on a side note too, like just to be clear about this guy is a piece of shit.
Absolutely.
For just doing this completely out of fucking nowhere.
He got hit with at least 3 different charges: aggravated assault, trespassing.
He fucking should.
You know,
why the fuck even assault this guy?
Okay, first of all, why Bret Hart? He hasn't done anything wrong. If anything, there's a lot of bad things that were done to him over the years.
Yeah.
He's a very likable guy. One of the great his catchphrase is "I'm the best there ever is, the best there ever was, the best there will be." Yeah. And he was that good. Why tackle Bret? Why fight him?
Yeah.
The guy could have killed him.
Oh, I was going to say he's up there, and especially a fucking just surprise tackle fucking out of nowhere.
Now there is security, and we go through metal detectors, so they're going to catch you if you have a knife or a gun.
Thank God.
But this dude could have. I don't know. He could have killed Bret Hart.
I was about to say very well. Could have. But it's scary.
So they cart him away. One of the managers, the general manager of 205 Live, one of their other shows, Drake Maverick got on the mic and was like, "Hey, let's not give him any attention. He doesn't fucking deserve it.
Good move.
Let's get this back on track." And I was like, "Good dude.
Good fucking."
So they clear the ring, get Bret back up, and dude, they roll camera, and he goes right back.
And
into
people
it.
Probably fucking
his hair was all frizzed out.
Yeah.
But he no sold it, as we call it. He didn't pay any attention.
Please tell me people lost their shit then too, of how fucking.
Well, first of all, when they carted the guy out, we chanted asshole, we chanted fuck this guy, we chanted you fucked up.
The crowd must have been losing their fucking mind.
It was vitriol towards this guy. And then Bret, we obviously showered with praise. But I had friends texting me who were watching it, and they showed me the video, and you can see the guy tackling, and then the camera cuts to the crowd, and you can hear the chants. But now, if you watch it on the edit, you don't see anything.
Oh, okay.
They
that makes sense.
Like the audio, you hear him speaking, it cuts to the crowd, it comes back, and his hair is frizzled, and that's it. So don't give this guy press. We now know who he is. We've seen his ridiculous tweets. The guy has got something wrong.
Clearly out there.
But fuck that guy.
Yeah.
So that was the big crazy thing. And then ironically, at that ROH New Japan Super Show, 2 former WWE wrestlers, quote, invaded one of the matches 20 minutes later.
Oh, shit.
And so everyone's like, what's real, what's fake? That was fake. That was planned.
Yes.
But they didn't tell all the wrestlers. So I've seen videos of some of the wrestlers attacking them because they don't know it's real.
They're losing their fucking minds. That's awesome.
Yeah, but now WrestleMania, you did not watch it, right? You didn't watch any of this.
I did not.
You didn't really have any plans to, though, right?
I did not. The problem is we both work at jobs. To be vague, we both work at jobs where I work all weekend.
Yes.
So that's the other thing. I was like,
and this year WrestleMania, the pre-show started at 5, and you probably worked till 6:30 or 7.
Yeah, at least
you would have missed a couple hours.
That's all I'm saying. Yeah.
So most traditionally pay-per-views are 3 hours long.
I heard this one was like ridiculous.
So normally they used to be 3 hours, and a couple years ago, they had a brand split. So they had a draft. People were on Raw and people were on SmackDown. Then each brand had their own pay-per-view every month. So we were getting 2 pay-per-views a month.
Which is fucking genius for them.
It was until it became too much. Then they combined them into one pay-per-view. So now each pay-per-view is basically 4 hours long with maybe like an hour pre-show.
Okay.
So you're watching like 4 or 5 hours of wrestling once a month.
Which is good.
But that's what everything builds to. The shows, Monday Night Raw, service the storyline to get to the pay-per-view.
To get to the big event. Yeah.
So this year's Mania was I think it was the longest in history.
Yeah, it was. From what I heard, I could be totally wrong with this, but from what I heard, it was like it started at like 5 or 6 o'clock, and usually it ends around 10 or 11, and most people were there until midnight at least.
It was
like
7.5 hours.
12:30. Yeah, it was fucking insane.
The pay-per-view is supposed to start at 7. The pre-show starts at 5. So there you've got 2 hours of pre-show. And then 7, it normally would then be 7 to 11. This went till 12:30.
Yeah, fuck.
No, it ended at 12:30. You know, like the last match went that long, right?
Was that long.
The main event didn't even start until midnight.
Yeah, like
and
everybody, holy fuck.
So it was
That's a big ask also too for people to sit there. And also it's not like they told you guys how long it was going to go either. You just knew the start time and then
there were just rumors going in that this would be incredibly long. And I think last year went till around midnight as well.
Mm-hmm.
The thing is, back in the day, they actually used to be actual pay-per-views, and you would call your cable provider and say, "I want to get, No Mercy on Sunday." You know, now they have their own network. They have nobody to tell them not to do things.
They can do whatever the fuck they want.
They can do whatever the hell they want.
Yeah.
So
and if they're paying the money,
the only problem is the arena,
night,
and we'll get to the transportation situation. There are outside factors. So
of course, if you're there, as opposed to just paying to watch it.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, the pre-show started at 5. Me and I go every year with my friend Greg. He's one of my longest friends. Oh, that's weird to say that. One of my oldest friends. And,
listen, you've known each other a long time,
since
ergo, so it's okay.
Second grade.
Yeah, Jesus.
But, so we went to... I'm not even getting into all the other stuff we did. Nick, we weren't just doing the wrestling events. We're walking 15 miles a day.
Well, that's what I was going to... So here, let's go through the wrestling first, and then we'll go... Because I do want to talk about that stuff,
we
too. We
decided to get to the arena as early as we could. So we probably got there like 3:30, 4 o'clock.
Yeah.
So we were there for... Until we actually left, almost 12 hours.
I was saying, it's like all day.
Yeah.
Like easily all day.
At that point, I try to avoid buying food there because everything is so expensive.
So fucking overpriced.
I always buy like a collector cup with like soda.
To
like
commemorate that you were there.
Right. But I'd get soda. Normally I'd get water, but I get soda so I'm not like dying. I have actual something in me.
Of course.
And I'm just sipping that thing. So.
Yeah. And you're there for 12 hours.
We're there forever. And so all the other events are in the Barclays Center in Brooklyn. Mm-hmm. From our hotel, it's a half an hour walk. So we're just walking there and back. It's no big deal. You got street pizza. It's all good.
Yep.
This was at Meadowlands in the MetLife Stadium.
Okay.
In East Rutherford, New Jersey.
Yeah.
So it's just across,
I've been to MetLife
across the river.
Actually, yeah.
But when you're traveling from Brooklyn,
it's
an hour and a half journey, if not more.
Very far.
Got to the arena. I actually missed the first match of the pre-show. It was the Cruiserweight Championship match. Every year they sell a football jersey that says Mania and has the number of the year. So this was 35.
35, yeah.
And this year was like the one in Orlando was white and had like a sun logo. They always the logo's based off the location.
They go like all
They
out.
did black and gold for New Orleans. Makes sense.
Yep.
This was blood red. I don't know why. That's not really like the Giants colors or the Jets or anything.
Yeah.
But it was bright red. So
was it
it
red and white?
Mm-hmm. It was like all red with a little bit of white.
It might have been Giants.
Is that like their away colors?
It's their away colors. Their away colors are red and white, and then because their home colors are blue and white.
Yeah.
Maybe, but that's kind of a stretch.
Yeah.
And this is gonna sound terrible. I never consider Brooklyn like a Giants thing either.
Yeah.
But anyway, I'd more go Yankees,
right?
If anything. But anyway, sorry. Continue.
So the events leading up to this, there's always one stand that has the WrestleMania shit, and all the other stands in the building have that event. So at the Hall of Fame, they had all the Hall of Fame shirts.
Yeah,
I needed the jersey.
And clearly everybody's losing their fucking mind.
Yeah,
how many people are there? Like how many people are in the stadium?
At Mania?
Yeah.
Almost 80,000 people.
And there's one stand for this jersey
that I saw.
Yeah.
Initially.
Yeah. Of course.
And of course it's at the front, so everybody's there. So I'm panicking. I'm like, I want to get to my seat. Mm-hmm. The way I am is I want to know where my seat is, then I'll go venture away.
Exactly.
It's just the fear of unknown. I don't know how many people I have to walk beside. You know. So
it's the same thing for like a movie and shit like that too. I'm the
exactly. And I have my tickets on my phone. They're all digital. Mm-hmm. My buddy Greg doesn't. So I feel bad that I'm holding him back.
Yeah.
So I was like, okay, we'll go get our seats, and I will try to find this fucking jersey.
Try to sprint and fucking run back. Yeah.
So they actually had built-in concession stands into the arena.
Whoa.
With like glass doors. Like they're just permanently there.
That's fucking genius.
Like if you go to Wells Fargo Center, they have stores for Flyers and Phillies and stuff.
Yep.
They're always gated off because it's a wrestling event.
Of course.
But here, it was just populated with the wrestling shit.
Yeah.
And so there was a long line, and I was like, Greg ran up. He's like, it's in there. So I was like, okay, here's your seat number. We're right here. So just go up and find it.
Walk.
I got it.
Here.
Get the jersey.
You're here. Exactly.
I missed the first match because I had to get my.
Of course.
It's $80. It's the most expensive thing I bought.
But I mean, it's there.
I'm probably never gonna wear it because I got a 2X and it's like skin tight to me. Like I don't understand the sizing, Nick. Anyway. So
and that's weird too, because jersey sizing is usually bigger than normal. Like, I even usually get a medium, and that feels like a large for me. That's weird. Maybe it's just that.
All of their sizes are fucked. I will buy a 2X shirt, and it is like tighter than this, and this is it's bizarre.
And
like,
it's the same
I'm
size.
a big boy.
At least.
Big boys watch anyway. So I'm not going to go through the match card. Some really great matches, some boring matches. At the end of the night, I didn't feel like it was 7.5 hours for some reason.
Okay.
Maybe it was because it was cold in a good way.
Well, I was just going to say,
was colder.
It
was probably in the 40s, 50s. But I wore shorts, so I was cool, and I had a zip up and my hat, to block sun.
And plus, you're surrounded by like 15,000 people.
When we went to Orlando, Orlando in April is 90 degrees.
Yeah, it's hot all the time. And Florida's fucking baked.
It's an outdoor arena. It's at Camping World Stadium, where like the Orange Bowl is or whatever.
Yeah,
Nick, it's the worst stadium I've ever been to in my life. It's fucking terrible. People were parking in like people's backyards and paying them $50. It was shady as fuck.
It's a cesspool.
But that was awful because we are baking in 90-degree weather, and at World Camping Stadium, it's just the metal benches.
Yep.
It's just you're at like a college football game.
I was about to say, on a total side note, it's actually funny that you bring that up. So I was in Florida for 2 years, and I saw 2 games in stadiums, and all of Florida stadiums, at least that I knew of at the time I was there, were all outside stadiums. Yeah. You have no idea, Kyle. Like, there was... So, most people would, like, pre-game or fucking hang out in the parking lots?
Absolutely.
There was people that would make... And I've talked to these people. They would make, like $5,000 because all they would do before any game is they would hit up 15 gas stations and buy every bucket of ice.
Wow.
Because people are fucking dying, and all they would do is just fucking have the bags. You just fucking buy the bag. Fucking people are fucking
just
dumping
like pouring it on themselves.
Yeah, literally just fucking pouring it.
Wow.
I'm serious. Like, what was so funny was, and I was joking with a friend of mine about this, is you knew when a game like started, definitely from when it ended, because it was so much water on the ground. It literally looked like somebody fucking sprayed.
Yeah.
Like, just water. That's is
crazy.
Just like, if you ever looking at like a Florida fucking game, and if you ever look at the fucking crowds, you'll see water dripping from the fucking like
in the stands.
In the stands, you'll see water just dripping from the different floors.
That's crazy.
People fucking do it. It's ridiculous. So anyway,
I was just there for one day. I mean, that was again 6 or 7 hours.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah,
that was really bad, Nick, because that stadium is not built to handle 80,000 people at a time.
Absolutely.
And the concession stands were shit. And so I bought the collector cup, and we didn't eat food for 7 hours. Because the lines were so long that we were going to miss a match.
Yeah, and
we paid money to be there.
Yep, exactly.
So
worst case, you can eat later. You can only see this match.
You got to hit up McDonald's.
Yep,
because it's cheap and buy our hotel.
Absolutely.
But we survived on warm tap water. I would go down to the drinking fountain and load up my cup and take a sip and be like, "Hey, buddy," and we would just anyway. The big thing about WrestleMania though this year is there were 3 major championship matches.
Yeah.
And all had big stakes. And for the first time in the history of WrestleMania, women were main eventing.
I was going to say that was the big
In the last 2 years or so, WWE has made strides to improve women's wrestling. The first Hell in a Cell match, the first ladder match, I mean, the first last woman standing match. They've done a lot of these things. The first time women main evented a pay-per-view.
Yeah.
So this is history. I mean, the biggest pay-per-view of the year in all of wrestling.
Yeah.
And women are main eventing.
And for fucking WrestleMania 35 of like all ones too. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's kind of like a banner year. It's a nice number, but to just the optics, it took them 35 years.
Yeah, which is nuts.
The other side of it is in their WWE Championship match. It was the opportunity to have the first all-black champion.
Oh, okay.
Which is another kind of bad thing.
That it took that long.
So. Yeah, in WWE they have 2 major men's titles: the Universal Championship, which is on Monday Night Raw, and the WWE Championship, which is on SmackDown.
Okay,
that is kind of the belt that has existed for 40 years. It's been twists and turns. They've redesigned it. They've combined it with other belts, broke it up, but that is the Legacy Championship,
the most consistent one.
Even though right now the Universal Championship is more important because it's on the A brand, it's on Raw.
Okay.
And WWE Championship's on the B brand. It's on SmackDown.
That's very ironic, but oh well.
But it's got the prestige. And the Universal Championship's only been around for a year and a half or 2 years.
Oh, okay.
They created it.
It's the new...
After the brand split, they were like, well, we got to have a big belt on both.
Yeah.
Back when I was a kid, it was the giant gold belt called the NWA Championship, which became the WCW Championship.
Yes, that's the one I remember.
Which, in the mid-2000s, Eric Bischoff, who used to be around when I was a kid, introduced that belt. So that's how they had 2 belts back then.
Because I remember WCW was like the fucking...
Yes.
At least, because that was the thing.
That's a whole... I can talk to you about
Please, I was about to say we can write about that at some. Well, that's what I was gonna say because at least back when I was a kid, because that's the thing. Like I don't know nearly anything about wrestling now, but when I was a kid, I mean, I was watching it back when it was like Stone Cold Steve Austin, The Rock, fucking Kurt Angle. It was like all those were like, oh my god. But yeah, like.
Funny you mention that because Kurt Angle had his retirement match that Sunday.
Yes, and everybody got pissed at that. Am I wrong? Am I wrong?
Yeah. It's because of who his opponent was.
Yeah. Who was it again?
A guy named Baron Corbin.
That's what it was, Baron Corbin.
He's been around for a couple of years. He actually, in storyline, Kurt Angle was the general manager of Monday Night Raw.
Okay.
And Stephanie McMahon is the big bad guy in Triple H. They didn't really like Kurt Angle, so they told him to go kick rocks and take a permanent vacation, and they put Baron Corbin in as temp GM. So he was Constable Corbin. He was the constable of Raw. So, anyway.
And he was already built up like an asshole.
Correct. So then, but that was like last year. So when Kurt Angle announced his retirement match, he was like, and my opponent was of my choosing, and I pick Baron Corbin.
Everyone's like, the fuck?
Everyone's like, what the fuck?
Fuck, yeah.
But anyway, you had Daniel Bryan. I don't know if you know a lot about Daniel Bryan. I won't give you the whole backstory. He is one of the most popular guys they've ever had.
Yep.
And he's a smaller guy. He's probably like 210 pounds. He's like 6 foot tall. He's not this giant behemoth that usually is a champion.
Yeah.
And a couple years ago, he ascended to win both belts in one night at WrestleMania New Orleans.
Fucking Christ.
Yes. But in the years since, he had a concussion. He went away for a while. He literally could not wrestle. He got cleared. Now he's been back for a year. But now he is one of the best villains you've ever seen.
Okay.
He turned heel. He's a vegan in real life. So he got rid of the leather belt and created a sustainable hemp belt with wood on it. Dude, it is gorgeous. It has turquoise like stones in it. It's incredible. And he comes out and he calls everybody slobs, and he's like, "Look at your consumerism. It's destroying the planet." And we're like, "Yeah, we love this stuff." But
heel. I mean, it's debatable too. But sometimes, especially heels, are almost better than the main event.
And they speak the truth. Like he is saying, "You guys are killing the planet," and we're like, "Fuck yeah, we are."
Yeah, we are.
But he's telling the truth, but he's the bad guy, right? There was a time where he went up in concession stand. He literally like dumped a Coke on this dude's head. He took the dude's hot dog and smacked him in the face. He's like, "Look at you people!" It was so good. Anyway, I'm not going to get all the machinations of this, but his opponent was Kofi Kingston, a member of the team called the New Day. And the New Day is one of the most popular teams in the company. They're great.
I know
5-time tag team champions. They've been beloved. They started out being hated. Now everybody loves them.
I was going to say, they're a great tag team.
A lot of machinations happened to make Kofi Kingston versus Daniel Bryan. Kofi Kingston's been in the company for over a decade. Has never had a world championship opportunity. He low-key is one of the winningest champions in history. He's like 7 or 8-time tag champion. He's held the other belts multiple times, but never the world champion.
Yeah, he's never had his own spotlight. He's always been a part of other belts.
Yes, exactly. Been part of a team. He's like the United States champion, but never the world.
Exactly.
So, but
he's always low key, but never the lead.
Now we get Daniel Bryan, the champion, heel champion, versus Kofi Kingston, the underdog. When Daniel Bryan used to be the underdog, they literally used to call him, quote, a B+ player.
Okay.
He was now calling Kofi Kingston the B+ player. Incredible storytelling. You got that. Then you also have the Universal Championship. Brock Lesnar, who is the Beast Incarnate. I mean, he has so many accolades. The only human in history to be WWE, UFC, and NCAA champion. Only person who's ever done it.
He's a fucking monster.
He was facing this other guy, Seth Rollins, who was one of the most over guys in the company. Was popular. So anyway, those were like the 3 big matches. Everyone's like, we knew the women were main eventing, but where are the other ones going to go? Because all of these are main event matches any other day.
Well, they're all big ones. Yeah, exactly.
Beginning of the pay-per-view, the host comes out, Alexa Bliss. She's one of the wrestlers. She brings out Hulk Hogan out of nowhere. He does this thing. And then Brock Lesnar's advocate is Paul Heyman, his
voice box.
Exactly. Paul Heyman just fucking marches to the ring in the middle of Hulk Hogan talking. And everyone's like, what is this? He gets on the mic. He's like, if you aren't going to let us be the main event, we're going first. We're making our money. We're going to Vegas where they appreciate us, meaning the UFC.
Yeah.
And everyone's booing the shit out of him. Sure enough, we had the Universal Championship match first.
That's great.
Which was crazy.
I was about to say, people are losing
And then
their
the other question was, in all 3 matches, the heels are the champions.
Yep.
And we want the good guys, the baby faces to win.
Exactly. Because this is the event where it should be happening.
But they don't always give us what we want.
Of course.
You can't always give everybody what they want, or else they will get complacent. So sometimes you got to piss people off.
100%.
You got to leave them going home pissed off.
And plus you have the betrayals, and that's what keeps the plot going. Absolutely.
But Seth Rollins conquered Brock Lesnar to win the Universal Championship for the first time.
Fucking finally.
Kofi Kingston conquered Daniel Bryan to win the World Heavyweight Championship. The first all-black champion.
Yeah.
The Rock was champion back in the day, but he's half black, half Samoan, and other people. He is the first, so that is incredible. Great. Awesome. He brought his little kids in the ring. His wife.
Well, I
the little kids were on the turnbuckle, like losing it. It was great.
I saw the photo too, because even like the New Day fucking's lifting him up. He's fucking everybody's crying, losing their shit.
And then the main event, the SmackDown champion was Charlotte Flair, Ric Flair's daughter. The Raw champion was Ronda Rousey, who has been undefeated on the main roster in a year. She debuted literally about a year ago. And then Becky Lynch has been the most popular person in the company now. Her nickname's The Man. She's the Man.
Yep.
And there's a lot of history I can get into, but it's a triple threat, and whoever wins gets both belts.
Well, because I saw
for the first time ever.
Because when we were watching the pay-per-view, like before obviously WrestleMania and shit, they had their whole fucking dynamic too. Was pretty big on that.
I don't remember what match was what it was at Royal Rumble. I think they had different. It wasn't them fighting each other. It was Ronda versus somebody.
It was Ronda versus Ric Flair's daughter, wasn't it? Because then she fucking lost, and then she won, but she was like crying the whole time because she got like beat the shit out of.
Yeah, I think was that where Charlotte brought out all the kendo sticks and stuff? And beat the shit out of
her? Yeah. Then they were fucking smacking each other. It was like, oh.
But the point is, the winner would win both belts, and we were like, we got the good guys winning twice. Becky's not gonna win. I'm like, there's no way she's gonna win.
Yeah, it can't happen.
And then she fucking won.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of controversy there because. I'm sure you haven't seen the clip, but the way Becky won is she did this pinning maneuver.
She won like technically illegally.
It's called the crucifix, and their shoulders are down, but Ronda's one shoulder was up when the ref counted one.
Well, and so just to clarify, what's the pin ruling?
Both shoulders have to be down to be pinned. If they get a shoulder up, it breaks the pin.
And then they got to restart the count.
Or whatever. Or they just keep wrestling. But yes,
the
ref is not supposed to count if their shoulders are up. And they won't get in there and they'll slide their hand and be like, nope, shoulders up. And then they have to try to get the shoulder down.
Of course.
So anyway, the problem was the ref was out of position to see Ronda's one shoulder. So when he hits one, her shoulder's 4 inches off the ground.
Yeah, like
and
clearly
then she slides it down for 2, 3.
Yeah.
And the way most matches go, the crowd kind of can sense maybe when it's going to be over. We count with them 1, 2, and if they kick out, it's we all erupt. But
there's always the wave.
We're all ready to hit that 3, right? Yep. This was so indecisive that everyone's like 1, 2, 3, and then we looked at each other. and We're like,
the fuck?
Okay, and then we all start cheering. Becky Lynch wins the titles, but it wasn't like. Normally,
it wasn't the big decisive culminating moment.
There's an ebb and flow, and there's storytelling, and you can tell somebody hits their big move. That's it.
They double it, and then
they do it like twice, and then if they kick out, we're in parlance, we're ready to come. We're like, we gotta
exactly, yes.
But she didn't hit a big move. Ronda went to hit her move, and Becky counters it, slides her over. 1, 2, 3, and she wins.
It's just like a quick. And it's like a quick turnover pin, but it's weird because it's the big match. Yes. Like you need to have like the.
Like the big moment. Like this is your deciding punctuation mark on this sentence.
It should have been,
and it wasn't.
Because I saw the tail end of it at least. Because I saw that was the other. It was like the tackle from the Hall of Fame and then the actual finale. Yeah. And I thought like I've always, and they've probably done this a million times. So I know I'm gonna say this, and you're gonna be like, Nick, they do this all the fucking time. But I would just love like, especially for the fucking finale thing, I want that like double fucking punch. Like they both just. Boom, and they both fucking hit the ground, and then you just see one of them just like, and then just like crawl to get the pin. I fucking love that.
It's funny you say that because that is a thing that does happen sometimes.
Of course, yeah.
It actually happened at NXT. You know, they'll be in the part of the match where they're both sluggy. It's been so long,
it's that boom,
and we cheer
boom,
yay
boom.
when the good guy hits, and boo when the bad guy hits, and they're just trading punches.
Yeah.
And then sometimes they'll both hit each other, and then. We're all clapping. And we're like, this is incredible.
Exactly.
So that was kind of a letdown. She wins the title. She's now called Becky Two Belts. She has to defend. She on both shows now. She has to defend against different people,
which is great and also good for her career because that's got to fucking boost it.
But now behind the scenes, there have been some things where Vince literally fined the ref in real life because the ref didn't see her shoulder was up, should not have counted.
Okay.
There's a lot of stuff.
Yikes.
There were rumors that. They wanted Becky Lynch to tap out Ronda to her armbar, which is what Ronda does an armbar.
So Becky was supposed to win, but maybe not.
Becky was going to win no matter what.
Yeah.
But there were talks that they wanted her to tap her out, but Ronda didn't want to because it's quote not real.
Yeah. And
the storyline leading up to this is Ronda was calling out wrestling as not being real.
Yeah.
Either way, she wins, and we are out of there at 12:30.
Damn. And that's the other thing too. So like. even in theory, so that's what's really funny about the whole thing then. So first of all, she won. Everyone's
Yeah.
just kind of like, okay. And then at the same time, then you're looking at your watch and you're like, wow. So first of all, it wasn't even, now, foresight. It wasn't even supposed to end yet.
Right.
It was supposed to go on longer, and it's already fucking 12:30.
Yeah.
Like, holy shit. Yeah. So wrestling over.
Yeah. I'll recap the nights real quick, and then we're going to jump back. Because,
Yeah.
So then Monday Night Raw, Tuesday Night SmackDown. Not a lot to talk about there. Monday Night Raw after SmackDown or after WrestleMania is called Smarkamania. A Smark is a fan who knows the inside stuff and is a fan, but knows a little too much and thinks they know everything. And they're like the guy on the internet that's like, you know what I mean? A Mark is just a fan.
Got it.
But a Mark is a Smark is a smart Mark.
Got
right?
it. Yeah.
The Internet Wrestling Community, it's called the IWC,
or a smug mark, if you will.
There you go.
There we go.
So the thing is with the Raw after Mania, it's the most rambunctious Raw of the year. We're chanting whatever the fuck we want. We take over the show. The crowd is like,
people are losing their fucking minds.
because it's an international crowd. So you're getting ole 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 chants for people who don't normally do it, and you're getting the Aussie you're getting shit from everywhere.
Yeah. Oh, so especially because of the fucking events that just conspired 3 days before.
And you're like, this is it. Like I ragged on you before because you didn't realize wrestling doesn't stop. There are no seasons.
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
It's nonstop. It's the only thing like this in the world.
Mm-hmm. Well, and that's another big decisive too, which is a good thing of why they lean more on at least categorized as entertainment.
Correct.
Because it's not like a major league sport in the sense of the players need to take a break,
There is
which
no
is crazy for them though too, because they don't take fucking breaks.
They're traveling
like,
the 300 nights a year.
They just fucking go. Like that's insane.
Now, if you get injured, obviously you stand out. Sometimes people take like a week or two of vacation, but like they're on the road for 300
Well,
days
I was going to say, and even too, like, even if some of the wrestlers do take off weeks, that doesn't necessarily mean that they're still not there to at least play a part in some dialogue or some off scene.
Or they're not doing an interview for USA Today or something.
Exactly.
I mean, these people are doing media. They're
all the fucking time.
They're on Raw Monday night and Sunday morning, or the next morning they're in like New York on the Today Show.
Well, and that's the thing too. And then they're like, and especially now because the whole WWE has like their whole like app and everything else. They have fucking videos on that. They're probably exclusive to that too.
Exactly.
And
there's WWE.com content that they put up interviews afterwarves. So
that's what I'm saying.
It's a lot to consume. Mm-hmm. But Raw after Mania is so rambunctious, and people they've turned to Beach Ball Mania. People start throwing beach balls. People do the wave. The crowd takes over the show. And it's kind of shitty. This is kind of like the start of the new season, more or less.
Got it.
Like all the storylines build to Mania. It's the road to WrestleMania.
Well, exactly. Like, so we were just talking that there's not really seasons, but there is at least a finality and then a kind of restart.
This is kind of like a soft reset then for the next year, where you've got new champions, you've got new storylines. Ironically enough, on that Monday Night Raw, every former champion who lost was not there. They kind of let the champions have their thing and maybe segue into a new feud. So, and it's also a time where they can call people up from NXT. There's debuts. You're like, oh, that guy's here now.
Now he's in. Yep.
This year didn't really have a whole lot of that, so it's a little disappointing. There's a lot I can get into as to reasons why, but the crowd actually was pretty respectful, and I was pretty happy. There wasn't a lot of shitty chants. The wave happened during one match, and I was like, you're doing it at this match? This is actually a good match. You know? If the people don't want to see it, then they just do whatever they want.
Then nobody gives a fuck. Exactly.
The big thing about Raw is at the very beginning, Kofi Kingston, the new champion, and Seth Rollins, the new champion, came into the ring together, and Kofi was like, I like what happened to Becky. Let's have a match tonight, winner take all.
Oh,
and you're like,
shit.
What? This has never happened.
Right
and
after
in my head,
that,
I'm like, no, please. I don't want either of these guys to lose.
Yeah, I was about to say.
But then the main event was interrupted by this other tag team called The Bar. The place went nuclear, Nick. We were chanting, fuck you, on broadcast television. We're chanting, fuck you. And that's when the beach balls came out.
Okay.
And famously, last year, this one guy, Cesaro, ran into the crowd, grabbed a beach ball, and ripped it up. And everyone, half the crowd's booing him because he ripped it, and half were like, yeah. So then this year, they brought him 3. Security would get... This dude leaped the barricade in one leap. It's like a 4-foot barricade. He ran up, rips it up. He's just like standing on the apron, like looking for the beach balls. It was awesome. And then we had SmackDown again. Not really any surprises or anything, and that's the last night. So the crowd's the most tired. People are leaving.
It seemed very formal out of what typically is surprising out of wrestling.
And then the cool thing about that is they tape SmackDown and then they tape their show 205 Live, which is for the cruiserweights, quote unquote, people who are 205 and less. They're for the smaller guys who are more agile. And
Still
stuff.
trying to do shit, and then they could probably do more high flying shit too.
Exactly, that's where that is. The really crazy shit's there.
That's awesome.
It's not always the best storytelling, but it's incredible to watch.
Some of the moves you see are just like, whoa.
So we stayed through that, and then sometimes they have what's called a dark match, which is a match that happens after the cameras are off.
Oh, that's cool.
Sometimes they have dark matches before, sometimes after. You might see somebody. Yeah,
and the crowd probably lose their
so
shit.
they tell you that beforehand.
Of
so
course.
SmackDown goes off the air, and they're like, "Stay tuned for your main event after 205 Live," because they want the crowd to stay there.
Absolutely,
because it's still being filmed for the network.
Yeah.
So then,
because you can still watch it like on pay per view. I'm assuming.
Well, you can turn. Yeah, it's they broadcast it as a 1 hour show on the network. So yes, you could just watch 205 Live. But that is only on the network.
Exactly.
Whereas Raw is on USA and SmackDown's on USA.
And I would assume, too, that's where the crowd can go fucking bananas.
Yes. Well, either they don't do anything, or they're really into it. I mean,
because it is
been
late,
there for
too.
5 days.
You're already
We've seen 30
out.
hours of wrestling. But what's cool is, you've never heard of these guys. Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn had both been out with injuries for 90 months.
Kevin Owens, I've heard of before.
They were friends, bitter rivals, whatever. They had the final match of the entire week.
Oh, shit.
It was a dark match. Their first time back in the ring together. Sammy is a bad guy now, real shitty heel, talks shit on the crowd. Kevin was a bad guy, now he's kind of the good guy. And they had a match, and it was a whole fun segment, so
that's good.
It was cool to have that be the end.
Yeah.
So a lot of wrestling, very exhausting.
Yeah.
I was sick going into it. I'm still sick 2 weeks later.
Still haven't caught up and actually got your rest from it.
Yeah. So it was a lot to consume, but it was a great time.
So far out of the 3 that you've been at, do you have a favorite?
Favorite city, New Orleans.
Okay, yeah.
Favorite wrestling,
favorite location, and then actual wrestling event.
New Orleans by far, because we can walk everywhere. Our hotel was again about 40 minutes from the arena, but we were literally on the block. We were on Bourbon Street. We were 1 block away.
Fuck,
and we didn't discover that till the 3rd night. I was like, where are the titties? Like, I want to know where Bourbon Street is. And then we turned the corner and it's fucking Bourbon Street. Like, we had gone that way for the arena.
Yeah.
We go that way to Bourbon Street. So that city, I mean, the best fried chicken I've ever had, Nick.
It's gorgeous.
Was at this one place.
Yeah, the area is amazing.
It's incredible. Beignets. So that's my favorite city. But I think in terms of the quality of wrestling in the events this year, I think was the best.
Wow.
It was some incredible stuff. Mania 7.5 hours, but some amazing moments. You know, the Hall of Fame is memorable for the Brett thing, which was terrifying.
Yeah.
Every night had something to remember it.
Yeah.
Brooklyn's a really cool city. You know, everybody conjure up a lot of images when you think of New York, but Brooklyn, you know, I don't know if you've ever been there, but to me it's just like Lancaster. I felt like I'm just walking through like Lancaster.
Well, what's nice and I mean, I'm from Jersey and people give me shit about that all the time. And Jersey is definitely a lot different, but I wasn't from when most people who haven't been to Jersey talk shit about dirty Jersey and all this stuff, most people, I might get flack for this, most people are referring to Trenton. Most people are referring, I'm saying, most people are referring to big city areas in New Jersey, which is so funny if anyone is from New Jersey listening to this, because there are so many not city areas in New Jersey. Like, I'm from Island, which is such a fucking rural, fucking neighborhood area.
Yeah.
And what I loved about Jersey, at least from where I was from, and I don't get it as much in PA, but Brooklyn, you get it just as much, where anytime you walk down the street and someone goes, "Hey, how you doing?" You go, "Hey, what the fuck's up?" And you really can have a genuine conversation with somebody. Normally in PA, and that was the one thing where even when I first moved here, and I was young, I mean I was fucking 8 or 9, but people used to fucking be like, "Hey, are you from out of town?" Because I would literally just walk down the street and go, "Hi, how are you doing?" And people look at me like I have 10 fucking faces. What the fuck? Are you trying to rob me? And fucking walk down the street. I was like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
So that's the one nice thing. I love going in, even any good spot in New York, because that's the other problem in New York. New York has so many 50-50. You either go to a spot that's decent and there's fucking some pretty nice people, or you go to shit cesspools, just garbage. That's the biggest complaint I have about New York, is when most people fantasize about New York, the places that they think to fantasize are fucking cesspools. They're so fucking gross. Oh my god, they're just disgusting. But there are some very redeeming parts of New York too. You just gotta know where to look.
Right. So we were in Brooklyn, about, like I said, half an hour from Barclays Center, and pizza is what we wanted to do.
Absolutely.
I mean, you got to get bagels and you got to get pizza.
You got to get Brooklyn
Bless
style
my
pizza.
mom's heart. She was like, "Are they known for their pizza and bagels?" I'm like,
Yeah.
Yes,
Very,
Mom,
yes,
they are.
Very big deal.
So we had pizza 8 times in 5 days.
Good fucking move.
There was this one place called Table 87 on 3rd Avenue.
Mm-hmm.
It's the best pizza I've ever had in my life. That's the only place we went there twice.
Yep.
And it was margarita pizza, where it's, it's just like the chunks of mozzarella or whatever.
Yes.
I usually don't go for that because I like my cheese all over, but brother, it was like $3 or $4 a slice. And so we would just eat as we walked because we'd get it on the way to the arena. It was incredible.
Yeah, that's always, I'm a big fan of that. Either that or white pizza.
Yeah.
Like if people know how to do the fucking mozzarella right, I'm always like a big fan of that. Just at least on pizza, the best place, and this sounds hilarious, but I still do this. My favorite pizza to ever get is, first of all, Boardwalk Pizza, which already puts in a particular repertoire of pizza.
Yes.
I get it from a place called Three Brothers, which is on Seaside Island. And literally, I will drive from where I'm at now. I will drive 2.5 hours to eat that fucking pizza.
Yeah.
Like, dead ass. Like, I will go there and eat that fucking pizza. And
that's awesome.
one slice is $5.
Yeah.
It's as big as my face.
Nice.
Like, it's
Those
an
big
arm
slices,
length. It's the fucking huge ones. So what I always do is I'll get...
You gotta like fold.
Oh, no. I fucking double hand
funnel it in.
Yep, yeah. You just
funnel the grease into your mouth.
That's exactly what I do.
Out.
You do the first thing. You savor the grease, because if you're wasting the grease, you're wasting the pizza. So you drip the grease in like an IV drip, and then you just fucking down the whole thing.
Right in the veins.
Yep, exactly. So what I always do, and usually me and my family, we always do like a beach trip there. And what I do, my mom gives me shit for it all the time, because there's like a million boardwalk shit foods that you can eat. Cheesesteak, fucking like chili fries, fucking funnel cakes. Oh my god, you could get 36 different. Some random point, by the way, we got to get the squad together. I need to take you guys to fucking Seaside Heights. I'm telling you, it's my favorite boardwalk to go to of all time. It's the fucking best. We got to make like a weekend trip or something at some point. But there's like 15 different fucking high-end restaurants that just make the best fucking food, all different too. But what I do every time, my mom gives me shit for it every fucking time, is I eat that pizza breakfast, lunch, dinner,
just living
for
on
fucking
it.
for fucking like 4 days in a row, and it's fucking bliss. It's my, oh my god.
Well, see, that's the way I am. If I find something I like, I'm gonna go there all the time.
Bingo.
Like where I live, I'm going to the same pizza place every day. Just is what I like.
Exactly, creatures of habit. I do the same thing here.
We tried a bunch of different pizza. We found this place called Sheltsky's for bagels. Amazing bagels and cream cheese. And we pretty much sustained ourselves on pizza. I mean, leaving the arena at 11 o'clock, there really isn't. I mean, everyone says like New York's a city that never sleeps, but like Brooklyn's a normal town, and everybody shuts down. It definitely
sleeps. Yep.
And the only places open are bodegas.
Yeah.
And they're, I don't know, 50-50. They could be scary inside.
Yes,
or these little pizza places. So we'd roll into like Lou's Pizza at like 11:30 with like two, sweaty dudes back there like, hey, what do you want?
Yep.
No, we don't take cards, we're cash only,
Yep, exactly.
So that was kind of hit or miss. But I liked Brooklyn a lot. It was, I don't want to call it quaint, but it was... close enough to the city where it's a 30-minute subway ride.
Yeah.
We got really good at riding the subway, which obviously where we are here, it doesn't exist.
I was about to
say. And the few times I've done it in Philly, I was like, I don't know where I'm going, even though that's like one way.
Philly's terrible.
Whereas New York, it's just like spider veins of.
Yep. But it's weird. I feel like it's more organized because of how fucking convoluted it is. Like, they look at the map and they're like, we're going to make this way easier. Where Philly...
you get on the F, you get to the G, and then the I, and
Yep. And it's so funny, too, because when you look at the chart, you say it out loud, and you're like, holy fuck, I never thought I knew what any of that meant, and then you can read it. And Philly's weird. I feel like because they go it's a straight line, they go, oh, you must know what the fuck you're talking about. You're like, no, where the fuck do I leave? Like, where do I get the fuck off of this on a straight line with no fucking bullet points? But
so the thing that I've never used Google more in my life. Google Maps. I don't know how I did anything before Google Maps.
That's all I use.
I literally would say, I want to get from this street. I would just say, 4th Avenue 9 station to Penn Station, and it was like walk to here, get on this train, get off at this stop.
There, yep.
We literally were just Google mapping everything.
I believe it.
I just had it out to walk. I'd put it down for a little bit.
Dude, I do it all the time. Even locally. Even when we're hitting like Johnny's house. Shout out to Johnny. Even when we're hitting fucking Johnny's house because I have ADD and I forget his fucking address every goddamn time we meet up. I literally just boom and get there fucking every time. But, it's amazing.
The one thing I've got to complain about
is... you have a huge complaint.
I'm going to get there real quick.
Yeah.
I know we're...
No, you're good. No, we're fine.
So, normally streets are like 1, 2, 3, 4th, 5th Avenue.
Yep.
And then like State Street, Main Street, Church Street.
Yep. Queens, Kings.
No.
Yep.
No.
Yeah.
In Brooklyn, it's First, it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 Avenue.
Yep.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5 Street.
Yes.
Our subway station was 4th Avenue and 9th Street.
Yep.
4th and 9th. Not 4th Street, 9th Street. 4th Avenue and 9th Street.
And that's very easy
confusing.
And it's very easy to mix up.
I like to kind of know where I am and be like the guy who can be like, yeah, we just go over there. I know where we are geographically.
To get a heads up on.
I had no fucking clue.
Mm-hmm.
Because we left the one night from the arena and we're like, we got to get food. And we knew 5th Street. I think it was 5th Street had a ton of restaurants.
Yeah.
We wanted to get back to 5th Street. So we're walking, we find a 5th. And we're walking down and we find this pizza joint. It's like $5 for slices and a drink. So we're good. It's like 11:30 or 12.
Yeah.
And we start walking. And I'm like, I don't think this is where we fucking need to be, dude. I don't recognize it's dark.
Yeah.
It's scary.
This is a weird
I was
spot.
like, we're not in the right place. He's like, yeah, but it's like 5th. I'm like, I'm telling you, we're not in the right place. So
Yeah.
I pull up Google Maps. And if we're supposed to be down here,
Mm-hmm.
we're like over there. We just went the complete
opposite
outside
direction
of our
on the
place.
map,
I
yeah.
don't know how we got so wrong.
Mm-hmm.
So, we're walking down, it's not, it's scary because it's a place you don't know, but it's just houses, it's just row homes.
Yeah.
We eventually find our way back, but I don't know how we got so lost. And then, the whole time he's like, yeah, but we were on 5th. I'm like, I know, but like, it's the wrong 5th.
It's the wrong 5th.
Then we discovered it's Avenue Streets. Dude, then after that, I was like, I'm just pulling out my phone every time.
It's the dumbest setup of all time. New York, in general, is set up a lot like that, and it's very annoying. In certain spots in New York, like the last time I was there, literally at one of the corners, you can be at like 4th and 4th.
That's so dumb.
And I was like, what the fuck? And then the problem is, when you're on 4th and 4th, you have no fucking idea which way you're facing.
Yeah.
So then you're like, fuck, if I turn left, am I now on the Aves or on the streets? Like, that fucked me up more than even
and then
learning.
It's going to be street, Ave.
Yep. And then
it's like going north on what? I'm like, I don't know which way north is.
Exactly. They fought, like, that's the thing for me that was like, when you hit the fucking, for me, like, even when I was at that corner, I was like, I feel like this should be some weird epicenter.
It's like Inception. You're like,
I should get,
the city's folding up
I know,
on top
I was
of
waiting
here.
to get like the golden ticket of like, you found it. You found the center of the maze, like.
Yeah. So here's the big thing that happened.
Yes. Yeah, the major complaint, the biggest dip that you've had.
Basically, there are two ways to get from Manhattan to East Rutherford. Mm-hmm. You're taking a coach bus, okay, or you're taking a cab or an Uber,
of course,
or you're taking the train to Hoboken, the subway to Hoboken, then a train from Hoboken to Meadowlands.
Yes, yeah.
We elected to go to the Port Authority in Manhattan and pay for a ticket on a coach bus. It's called a coach bus, but it's basically a city bus that's just being used for that purpose.
Specifically
it's just shuttling people back and forth from Port Authority over there.
Because it is just a city bus. It's just used for that.
And it was $7 one way. So like,
very
that's
cheap.
not bad.
Not that bad, yeah, exactly.
So $14 round trip. And I originally Google told me to go to Hoboken, take the train. Mm-hmm. There's even a breakdown on the website. It's like, go to this platform, do this.
Yep. Because Google Maps is dope as shit.
But we did the bus.
Yeah.
And
it's also cheaper, so it's like
you just go on the Coach USA website, you buy the ticket, it's just barcodes, like anything, they scan it, you're good. So we got to the arena, we had the whole event, it's 12:30. Mm-hmm. We knew we had to get back to parking lot K to pick up coach bus to go back to Manhattan.
Okay.
So there are a lot of people like my father who are like, well, it's almost the end, we got to get out of here.
To leave, like you do the casual leave 10 minutes early
but we
type
don't.
Deal.
We're the ones that hang around until they kick us out because.
Yeah.
What's the rush?
You're enjoying it.
There's literally almost 90,000 people leaving this arena. We're going to be in a line of people. Let's just savor the moment. Take some last minute pictures of the teardown.
Well, and that's
take some selfies.
Exactly.
Search see if anybody left shit.
Yeah, exactly.
Souvenir cups.
Yeah, definitely.
So we're,
it's a big event. I do the same, I usually do that at rando games, but if it's especially a concert or something, I'm there literally, I'm there I'll take a selfie with the fucking janitor who's sweeping the fuck up on the aisles just to be like, yo, how fucking great was this? I'm the exact same
So
way.
by the time we got out of the arena itself, it was probably closer to 1 a.m. because we were just hanging out, and then it's the procession. Meadowlands is 3 or 4 stories, so you're walking these ramps just down and down and down. Then you get out into the parking lot. We have to find the parking lot K, which is on the other side.
Which is fucking mad far. Which is far from A, which is where it starts.
We finally find K. I cannot describe to you the situation. So there's the coach buses, and I'm going to use your table here. Not great for the audio listeners, but
apologies.
If this is the buses, the line was down here, and then it went up 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 here, and then it went over there. So we're walking up, and we're like, oh, here are the buses. And then we get, and we're like, oh, wait, that's the end of the line.
So for audio listeners, so for everybody, just to briefly describe, so what Kyle just pretty much drew for us on the table is literally a Z shape, back and forth 2 times, being each line being an arm length's distance, so which is mad fucking far.
It was probably half a mile long, if not more.
Jesus
of
Christ.
Just human beings.
Oh my god.
There were probably 7,000 or 8,000 people in this line, Nick, and I'm not exaggerating.
Oh yeah.
And we're all taking these coach buses out.
Yeah.
So, to make a very long story short...
It's like a Titanic sinking ship, like it's just a fucking bajillion people just all trying to get a lifeboat.
Speaking of Titanic, it started raining. So it's 1 o'clock in the morning.
Yep.
It is now
you've been sitting for 12 hours.
Mm-hmm. It's now probably in the 30s. Mm-hmm. I'm wearing shorts and a zip up, no hoodie, with a baseball hat.
Yep.
And it starts fucking raining. And it rains for 2.5 hours, Nick. We waited in line for 2.5 hours. We didn't leave the stadium till 3:30 in the morning.
Oh my god!
So we waited in line for almost 3 hours.
Fuck!
And people kept coming behind us. I mean, we're not the end of the line.
Yeah.
And
it's a line.
These dudes were hustling. They had their shopping carts with like drinks and like get your hot pretzels here, and it's literally like
they'll make any
like,
pickup money.
It's what do you put in the grill? Coal.
Oh,
What
are you thinking of?
The little black things you put in your grill.
Coal, you're right.
No, it's not coal. Anyway.
Charcoal?
Charcoal. Okay, it is coal. It's fucking charcoal.
You just were looking for the right word. You were looking for the right word.
Minecraft, okay. So we got like these soggy ass pretzels. It starts to rain, whatever.
Yeah.
So
and you've been waiting for 2 more hours.
It's
fucking
absolutely
starving.
miserable.
Yeah, exactly.
It was one of the worst experiences of my life. A lot of my friends started talking shit on me. First world problem.
Yeah.
Okay, sure, I'm privileged. I paid money to go to an event, but it's not my fault that it rained for 2.5 hours in the freezing cold when I'm sick.
Yeah.
And my tissues are soaked and I'm congested.
Yeah. We're just standing in rain for 2 hours
with nothing to do.
That
we can't pull out our
sucks.
phones because they're going to get rained on.
It's raining, yeah.
And we have no choice.
And also, you need to kind of keep your phone battery because you're also not in.
My external battery didn't leave my pocket the whole week.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying.
Because
you gotta have it.
I at least had a charge.
I was gonna say because your phone is your life when you fucking have no idea where you're at. Yeah.
So we had bought tickets ahead of time. Mm-hmm. So we wait in this line for 2.5 hours, freezing cold. No, there are a couple porta potties around, but people are.
You also can't fuck around too much because you're in a line.
Dudes are driving up in their SUVs, be like, $100, I'll take you to Manhattan, $100.
I believe it.
People took it.
Yeah. Oh,
and they
totally.
Put their shit in there and they fucked off.
Absolutely.
Then eventually we heard Ubers were charging up to $200 to take you from MetLife just to Times Square. They wouldn't take you anywhere else.
Yep.
It isn't bad because there's plenty of subway stations.
Yeah.
So we wait in this line forever. I'm drenched. My hat, you could ring the brim.
Yep.
My sleeve, you could ring it.
You're standing
I'm wearing
in the rain.
sneaks. My sneakers are soaked. Mm-hmm. I'm wearing shorts, so I'm freezing my dick off.
Yeah.
My friend Greg at least wore jeans. Nobody had umbrellas.
But that's still sometimes worse. I fucking hate sometimes when you're standing in jeans because it's heavier. You feel like 10 pounds fucking heavier.
So we finally get up there, and the whole time there's like 8 buses not being used.
Yeah.
They're just sitting there.
They're just fucking standing there.
So and some dude was like, literally like, I'm sorry guys, what the fuck is going on here?
Yeah.
And he was like, well, people don't buy their tickets ahead of time. People aren't buying their tickets.
Yeah.
And it's either cash only, $7. They won't give change.
Yeah.
Or you buy your tickets online.
Yep. And you bought your tickets.
Yes. But here's the problem. Nobody else did.
Yeah.
So they're in the freezing cold, going to the coach website, buying a ticket, holding up the process for everybody.
Oh my fucking God.
There were 4 MetLife employees not doing a fucking thing.
Just standing there.
They could have walked the line 35 times saying, please, go to CoachUSA.com. We'll get your tickets. We'll get you on these buses.
Can I also ask the dumbest question? Like, also, these buses are labeled and stuff. Why the fuck, in the meantime, even if, like, let's even say, like, you guys didn't have a quote-unquote full bus, why didn't they sit you guys in the fucking bus to be like, by the way, do you have a ticket? Go in that fucking bus. You're good, dude. Yeah. Like, there's 300 people that didn't fucking buy their ticket. So
they could have walked the line and said, anybody with a ticket, please come now. Everybody else buy your ticket.
Because even at least, even if you have to wait that long, and like regardless, the wait time is still going to suck ass, but it's way better to fucking sit in a fucking seat than, because even...
where you're not getting rain.
Yeah, because like, I'm going to throw you a very weird example, but just something that I was super thankful of that I almost had a similar problem with was and this is going to segue, but we can't segue this yet. For Star Wars, for Episode 8, I got like the first day tickets, which at Penn Cinema was like 6 p.m. or whatever.
Yeah.
So I literally got those, and usually what happens at most, at least that I've gone to, you're way more of a connoisseur, but bear with me. But usually when you hit those, it's the big line, and then it's still first come, first serve, because even a 3D IMAX...
You're doing IMAX.
Yeah, 3D IMAX.
They're not assigned seating.
Bingo. It's not assigned seating, so it's first come, first serve, so you still have to wait in a line. Now, they were super nice because it was like 30 degrees outside, and it was like the fucking weather couldn't decide if it was snowing or raining because of how fucking cold it was. So the minute we got there, they go, oh, everyone is waiting in the theater. So you can actually already pick out your seat. You can already sit in, grab food, hang out. Great. So it was fucking amazing. So we waited because we got there early because I was like, I want to get a decent seat.
Yeah.
So like what we prepped for to wait for 6 hours in line, because we literally got there at like 1 o'clock and we were just like bunkering, or 5 hours. Yeah. But we were bunkering down, and literally the minute we got there, like, oh, nope, you can just walk right in. We're just going to give you a band and you're just good to go. And I was like, thank fucking, because that could have been like I could have literally went in that movie and probably fucking hated it just because of the experience I had beforehand. But anyway.
Real quick, when I saw episode 7, they didn't have assigned seating anywhere yet.
Yeah.
I was like third in line for episode 7, and that day was like 22 degrees, and then it started raining.
Yep.
And I had I used to have one of those giant thermos, with the flip top. It froze. That's how cold it was, Nick. My giant insulated. Giant like water thing froze. Yeah, it was terrible.
Our weather, like, just on a total side note, our weather in PA has fucking blown for the past like 4 years. If people don't believe in fucking goddamn climate change, believe it now, because our weather sucks dick.
And what's happening now is, like, yesterday was cold and today it's like 75 degrees.
Yep.
Brooklyn
you can't fucking
was
make it mine. Yep.
Brooklyn was like, it was in the 60s, and I'm like, oh yeah, I can put my shorts on. And then next day's 35 degrees. And then Mania was fucking cold, and then the next day was sunny, and I wore my shorts again. So anyway, we eventually get on the bus. We're drenched. I'm just like, I just want to get the fuck back to the hotel. Yeah. So then we have to make the trek to Manhattan, walk to the port. We get to the Port Authority, then we have to walk to our subway station. We're like the only people in the subway station. Get our asses back to Brooklyn. Then we've got to walk, 20 minutes back to the hotel.
Fuck.
I get into the hotel. I'm not lying, it's 4:30 in the morning. And the woman's got her earbuds in, looking like, who are these motherfuckers?
Not giving a fuck.
And I was like, hey,
third shift
fucking
sucks.
soaked.
Yeah.
Do you guys have dryers we can use tomorrow? Like, we'll just give you our shit? And she's like, no, we don't do that. Like, there's like laundromats up the street.
Yeah.
So so we didn't get to bed till like 5:30 in the morning. We only had eaten like chicken tenders at like
I was just gonna say
6 o'clock or something.
Yeah, like 12 hours ago.
So our complete Monday was fucked. Yeah. We slept till like almost 2 o'clock in the afternoon.
You're recovering. Yep.
We ate breakfast at 4 o'clock and we had pizza. We actually went to a real restaurant. We sat down. We got a big ass pizza. I'm like, we need to just
treat yourself.
I felt hungover. That's how fucked up I was.
Exactly.
My head was messed up. I was hungry. I was like, I just need.
Well, you just put your body through the shitter.
I need a Coke and I need water and I need pizza.
And you were sick.
And I was sick.
And you were sick, so you didn't even feel good to
So
start.
Monday was completely fucked. We basically walked to get pizza, back to the hotel, chilled for 20 minutes, then walked to Barclays. And we're like, all right, time for Monday Night Raw. But to sum up the whole thing, we walked almost 35 miles in 5 days.
Fuck,
we would go to Manhattan. We went to the Natural History Museum. We went to the Met, which was incredible.
Yeah.
The only painting I wanted to see was Starry Night, and it was at the MoMA, the Museum of Modern Art. It wasn't even there.
They fucking moved it.
So, and then there was that Japanese painting, The Great Wave.
Yeah.
That wasn't there either. And it was advertised as being there. And I was like, I want to see the Great Wave now.
Yeah.
So, but it was a great time outside of that debacle. Walking 15 miles a day sucked.
Yeah.
Because we knew, we could have taken subways more within Manhattan, but like we kind of knew where to get out near the library.
Yeah.
Like, well, Times Square's there. It's like 2 blocks. We kind of just walked.
Well, it's at that point, especially too, because like it's really nice, like touristy, because you can always find something just a couple more blocks to keep enticing you to go a little bit further. But then by the end of it, when you're like, hey, let's go home, it's like, fuck.
Yeah, so we'd be at the museum, and we'd be there all day, and it would be like 2 o'clock, and I was like, Greg, we got to plan our exit strategy to get to the arena by 8. And it's only 2 o'clock now, but we have to figure out we need to leave this at 4:30. It takes an hour to walk back to the train station.
I was just gonna say, because you're on foot.
Yeah.
Yep. And that's the other thing too. Like, you can get the train and get there relatively faster, or you can try to get an Uber and fucking sit in traffic for 86 years. Yeah, exactly.
But then we were able to experience, getting street vendor food and hot dogs, and doing
and
that's
New York
great
stuff. Too, man.
We walked all the way through Central Park to get to Natural History Museum.
And that's the
we
best.
could have just like walked around, but we went down through it, took 1,000 pictures, you know.
Dude, oh my god, walking through memorable cities is like the fucking best.
Yeah.
Like, oh man, I mean, you can have a real shit time doing it too, but at this, like, there's so much to absorb, and especially ones with like infamous parks and shit.
Yeah.
Like, oh man.
In Orlando, it was we were so disconnected because our hotel was like the other end of Orlando.
But that's how Orlando is, though.
Yeah,
Orlando doesn't have.
There's no central.
There's
thing.
no convenience.
So like we drove to the arenas every day.
Yep.
Whereas this we could just. Oh, and I left out this part of the story. I wanted to drive.
Mm-hmm.
I wanted to drive to Brooklyn.
Yeah.
And like the day before, Greg was like, "You really want to drive in New York?" So then I got the idea to call the hotel, and they were like, "Oh yeah, because I looked at Google Images, and I was like, "There's not really a parking lot here." And they were like, "Well, we have very limited parking out back. It's
Christ.
$35 a day.
Oh my
It's
god.
first come, first serve."
Oh,
I was
great.
like, "So you're telling me I drive, 3 hours from where I am to get
And
to you,
maybe.
and you're not guaranteeing me a parking spot?" Like, yeah, it's street parking after that.
Wow.
It's like, I don't want to do fucking street parking. So then we took a train from Lancaster to Philly, and then a bus from Philly there was like $8.
Yeah, exactly.
From Philly to New York?
It's dirt cheap.
And then we rode the train the whole way back. But
of course.
it was,
Nice.
it was a good trip.
I'm glad you had a good time.
So, yeah.
I'm very sorry about the terrible event that you had.
It was awful.
Leading
It's so
up to
bad
it.
that the governor of New Jersey had to
Yeah,
apologize and
fucking
said,
better have.
"Our bad." Because then there are
made news.
also images of thousands of people waiting in the Uber line.
That's what I was gonna say.
I mean, it wasn't just us.
No.
The other part. Okay, here's the problem. So Mania was supposed to end at midnight.
Yeah.
They didn't.
They didn't communicate
he said,
properly.
she said. New Jersey Transit is saying they didn't tell us it's going long, so we shut down the train to Hoboken at 1 a.m. when people were waiting till 3 o'clock in the morning.
Yep.
So they shut down the trains, not knowing they were supposed to keep them open.
Yeah.
But then it was just a complete clusterfuck.
But when you're seeing fucking thousands of people still there.
But here's the thing: they host NFL games all the time,
and
You'd
they
think this would be smoothed out.
always go late.
But
NFL games, like that's the other thing too. I usually don't like to pick sides in this type of scenario, but I'm going to say that the town is bullshit because any NFL game that goes on ever, like literally ever, if a home team loses, the game that ended at 11, you're still going to have fans pissed off, drunk as shit, standing in the fucking train station at 3 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah.
Like 100 fucking %.
And the other thing was walking through the parking lot was like a wasteland. People are just leave their I've never experienced this at like Hershey or Wells Fargo.
People don't give a fuck.
There's just mounds of trash bags and people leaving grills tipped over with charcoal everywhere, like broken ping pong tables. Like it's just shit everywhere. Like
the
you
fucking
said,
pregame
bags
shit.
of ice. There's just rivers of water everywhere. Like we probably could have scrounged and gotten second dinner.
Yeah, you probably could have. But yeah, no, it's fucking insane, dude.
But that was an experience.
Nice.
Dude.
Well, I'm glad you fucking enjoyed yourself. Like I said, I'm very sorry that you had all that bullshit. Well, I don't want to wrap it up yet, Kyle, only because there's a minor subject that we do need to talk about. And usually I know the one other major thing, and I hope this doesn't infringe too much on your own podcast, but since you are very much a movie connoisseur,
yes.
I would very much like to at least just kind of riff a little bit, if you would so indulge me, on this fucking new Star Wars trailer. Because this is just fucking world fucking news at this point. Holy shit.
Yeah.
So...
Did you watch the live stream? From Star Wars Celebration.
Yes, I did after I saw. So first I saw the just trailer out the gate, and then I saw the live stuff of when they first debuted it, and fucking everybody's losing their goddamn mind. Yeah, fucking laugh and then play it again. And everyone's like, oh my fucking god, so good. Okay, so how about this? So there's like 36 things I could try to tackle with this, so I'll try to keep this relatively concise. Thoughts?
Yeah.
What do you think? Just from appearance, just reaction, or just how did you think about the trailer? Good.
I cried.
Bad. Yeah.
I cried.
It's very good.
I didn't really have that reaction to. I had that reaction to episode 7.
Absolutely.
It's the first time in
Seven was the big one for me.
And I've loved and liked everything else since, but the reaction to this when Rey does the flip, I had full body chills. I'm like,
so good.
Oh my god, because I've always wanted lightsaber action. Prequels or whatever, you know, they're overblown with choreography.
Yes.
Whereas then you get to episode 5 and it's like,
exactly.
It's very slow and methodical.
Bingo.
I want like the trailers for the Old Republic. I don't know if you remember that.
Yes.
It's like insane action.
And fucking
that scene of the two armies like colliding, and it's like Zack Snyder slow mo like speed ramping.
Or just like half of the things that were in like a video game, but half of the things that were in like Force Unleashed. When fucking Starkiller is literally taking down a fucking Star Destroyer.
Exploding the Rancor from inside.
Oh my god, just like any of this stuff. That's what the Force, like, especially, and that's what I love. And some people are giving me shit, like, or I shouldn't say me. That's way too possessive. Some people are giving the new fucking series
Yeah.
bullshit because they're like, oh, the force powers are getting insane. It's like, first of all, it's only going to grow. Powers should get more escalated
and
over
the
time.
way they're used, they develop
in anything. Like, that's like someone going like, oh, DBZ's bullshit now because they have new transformations. Bitch, what the fuck are you...
Guess what? The Digimon continued to Digivolve.
Exactly.
Like, it's change.
It's things are gonna keep happening. Like, what the fuck do you know? Oh my god.
So to see her do that flip, whether or not that's real, whether or not it's a dream sequence, whether or not it's training,
that's
whether or not Kylo's actually in that ship,
because they don't show his face. Gloves. Yep.
It could be Captain Phasma. It could just be them training together. I don't know. See her do the flip. It gave me chills,
man.
And then I just started to cry. I was like, "This is
so good.
This is incredible." You know, it's all these emotions flooding from what we've been through with Episode 8 and Solo, and it's like J.J. Abrams is my guy. He's one of my top 5 working directors. I would say he knows.
And another important thing, which I feel like this is gonna sound bad to say this probably. I feel like I can't say this a lot. He's a man who knows how to do sci-fi.
Absolutely,
like kills it with fucking sci-fi.
I mean. Super 8 is amazing.
Yeah.
Star Trek 2009 is it is in my top 10 of all time.
Yeah.
Into Darkness.
Yep.
It's a great movie, not great Star Trek. We can have a whole podcast about that.
Yeah.
But what he did with 7 was incredible. Yes. And you know, I don't want to get too in the weeds here, but Rian Johnson did whatever he wanted with 8. He
clearly.
He made his own movie.
Well,
there was no overarching plan.
And that was my whole thing. And this is what I'm so torn about with 8. I don't want to go on a whole review with 8 because I do want to try to lock in the trailer. Because if anything, next time I have you on, we're going to riff about Star Wars. I'm already going to call that now. But the one thing that I loved about 8 was, and I feel like this was the intention of the movie. I feel like the intention of 8 was, these are 3 scenes that I want in this movie. How can we make a movie around these 3 fucking scenes? Like, I'm not going to spoil... I don't give a fuck. Spoilers. It's fine. 8 has been out for a fucking year.
The throne room.
The throne room. The fucking light speed. And that fucking warp speed shot, or light speed. Yeah. That light speed shot is the fucking greatest... Hyperspeed? Is it light speed?
Yeah, sure.
I think it's light speed.
Well, they go into hyperspace, it doesn't matter.
Yeah,
light speed.
Anyway.
And then I feel like the shit Canto bite scene is what he really wanted. He wanted the casino scene.
Yes, he did.
Yeah.
He wanted the runaway and the getaway and they break out. And he's like, how can we bullshit 3 things around this stuff? But, like that, and that was the whole other thing. And I'm actually glad you brought that up. Because so JJ did obviously 7 and now he's doing 9 again. Yeah. And this is what I find very interesting. The title of this movie is Rise of Skywalker?
The Rise of Skywalker.
Rise of Skywalker, which is generic. It doesn't say Luke Skywalker. Correct. It doesn't say anything like that. So I'm very interested if JJ is going to technically retcon Rey's origin, so at least because the thing is too, we don't even know if what Kylo even told Rey in Episode 8 was even true. Correct. He just says, "Fucking, I saw your father."
They were junk traders.
Yeah.
Okay, so here's the thing. There's a lot to dive into here.
Yes.
I've read all the interviews. I've read all the articles. I've read everything. So going back to Episode 8, Rian Johnson was writing that during 7's filming.
Yep.
So he changed, like, Finn doesn't really carry through, like, a lot of the characters don't evolve and change.
Yeah.
He did whatever he wanted. There was no overarching Kevin Feige, let's say, from Marvel to say,
yes,
this is the vision for each. It was,
yeah.
Because it wasn't supposed to be JJ.
There wasn't guidelines.
It was supposed to be Colin Trevorrow.
Yep.
Doing Episode 9.
It was supposed to be all 3 different directors.
Correct.
There wasn't supposed to be...
And at the time, we were like, that's awesome. They're giving these visionary people their own story, but the problem was there was nobody saying, here should be the through line.
Yep.
So... Rian Johnson did his stuff, and what you said about the Kylo thing. So, so Skywalker is going to mean a couple different things. And JJ said you got to watch the movie. Of course, he's going to say that.
Of course,
that could mean the redemption of Ben Solo. It could mean the redemption of Kylo Ren, which I don't want. I think he is irredeemable.
I think at this point it would be very and it's the real problem is even if JJ does try to do that, the problem is if you watched Episode 8. It's done.
Yeah.
The minute he goes and essentially attempts to kill Luke in the final battle, that's it. That was his pivotal for me.
To me, it was already over in the throne room when he was.
Oh, absolutely.
Because I was with him, and he was like, "Come join me.
Yes.
Let's fuck the authority."
Rule, yep.
And I was like, "This is awesome."
New fucking wave.
And then he's like,
"So
help me rule the First Order," and then I'm like, "Bro, you lost her right there."
Which was so jerked off because That was such a 50-50 for me because if they would have drove that direction just a little bit to the left and had him just more be neutral, and instead of have him be the generic villain of just let me rule and just purely go old is dead, burn like, even though that still would have been
let
a
the
villain,
past die, kill it if you have to.
Exactly.
It's his, like, catchphrase.
Even if that still would have been a clearly villain role, like if you just looked at it in black and white, he'd obviously be a villain. At least his motivation was different, and something Star Wars fans could at least either get behind or hate him more, because they'd be like, yo, we fucking love this legacy. Go fuck yourself, man. Don't tell Luke to go fuck him. Like, oh man, it's so mixed. But
so
I'd be so bummed if that's what the title implies, because then what that truly, which I agree, I feel like in your sense of, I feel like that can't be it, because if that does happen, that's technically saying Kylo Ren is the main character of the trilogy, which is so not true.
And to have a woman be the main character of 2 and then have it be a guy by the end,
it's so not true.
So
they can't do it. Rey's consistently been the main character.
In terms of retconning, there won't be any retconning, but both Ryan and JJ have gone on record saying JJ's like, if you watch the panel, which I watched it at work, of course, and I would turn down the volume whenever somebody walked up. I then went back and watched more of it. Basically, JJ was more or less saying, I don't like the things Ryan did, but I'm being diplomatic about it, but I will wrap things up the way I wanted to, or what should be done, while honoring what he did. So, and then Ryan's also said, people were like, would you mind if JJ changes Rey's parentage? And he was like, sure, he can do what he wants.
If it's going to happen.
So, on that note, JJ has also said that Rey's parentage is more than we think.
Absolutely. And he said that in episode 7.
Yes.
Even.
But then that got nixed because of the filthy junk traders.
Yes.
Your parents were nobodies.
Which, can I say something, like, on a real even side note, too? When he was talking about, like, parents being, like, junk traders, just even in the back of my mind, I was like, well, Luke was a fucking, like, just fucking trashy kid, farm fucking boy kid working on fucking droids when... And so then I was like, is that what they're trying to lead or some shit or something?
So I wholeheartedly believe that that did mean nothing. That really her parents were nobody. I wholeheartedly believe that Rian Johnson was like, all the questions you have in episode 7, who is Snoke? Well, who raised parents? Fuck you guys. I'm going to do my own thing. And now JJ's saying, we'll live by that. So a couple options with Kylo is he could have been telling the truth, and then her parents were nobodies.
Yep.
He could have lied
to throw her
to
off.
Get her. So maybe her parents did matter, but he's lying.
Just to bring himself closer to her.
What if the real parents gave her up to the filthy junk traders?
Yes.
I always took it to be that, yes, she was left with Unkar Plot. And but the ship's taking off.
Yes.
But Kylo says your parents are filthy drunk traders living in a grave on Jakku.
Yeah.
But who's taken off in the ship?
Yeah.
So to me, even reconciling those two things, I always took it as somebody dropped her off with Unkar Plot, and now her parents are gone.
Yes.
Episode 8 gets changed. She says the parents are dead.
Yes.
I believe the parents are important, but Kylo was either lying or or didn't know the whole truth.
That's what I was gonna say.
So I used to prescribe to the idea that she was Luke Skywalker's daughter, and then I kind of got away from that because he would know he had a daughter. He obviously slept with a woman.
The only dumb fan theory that I had, and I guarantee you've heard this before, the only dumb theory that I thought would be if she was somehow, which doesn't make sense, but just bear with me, somehow some off-brand clone of Luke. That is
one of the current theories.
Based on the hand being chopped off. And what would be more interesting, at least if Kylo was looking into Rey's parent lineage because she's a clone, which still, it's too many threads to make it one consistent line. Luke's fucking dad would be Anakin, and then literally Anakin being a junk trader.
Yeah.
So that was the only other thing where I was like, that could keep that thread, but the fact that he intentionally says parents, and obviously... Luke's mother was a completely different role.
The clone hand thing is wild because episode 7 was supposed to open with one of the scripts was his hand floating through space.
Yeah. It's.
The other thing was I thought for all that she'd be Obi-Wan's granddaughter, and I wanted the symmetry of an Obi-Wan, of a Kenobi and a Skywalker, just like a Kenobi
to always keep it going. Yep.
Because in the Clone Wars cartoon series, he had a relationship off the books with with the Mandalorian queen or whatever.
Yep. And he also technically retired as a Jedi, so it would totally make sense that he
who knows
got
what he did for 25 years.
Yep.
For 20 years until episode 4 happens.
Exactly.
We get a little bit of that in Rebels, but going back to the trailer, which is what we're talking about.
Yes.
I think Skywalker one of the theories that I read that I immediately discredited, but now kind of coming around to, is the fact that Skywalker could just be the new term for Jedi. I hated it at first, and I was like, how can you people get this from the title? It's so dumb. But there's an in-canon book where at Grand Admiral Thrawn and Vader go off into the outer reaches, go into the outer rim. And they find out that the term that the Chiss use for somebody who can wield the Force is a Skywalker, a sky space walker. Because the space is so difficult to traverse, you need a Force user at the helm, so they can use their precognition to find an asteroid or this and that. So that's why Anakin was so good at pod racing, because he can see 2 seconds into the future. And course correct. That's why they can blaster bolts and stuff, so they can see the future. So a lot of people were like, well, this ancient term used by this one species was Skywalker. It just happened to be his family surname.
That'd be very interesting.
You know,
the only other thing that I was thinking, at least jumping on, like not on that thread, but at least the term, I was thinking, at least just out of hearing that title, it might possibly be because they even talked about the whole initial rebellion group essentially getting destroyed, and them essentially being like, now it's real rebels. It's like a group of 15 people starting another rebellion.
Stuck in that base at the end of episode 8.
And so what I was thinking was, especially because of Luke's passing, and both of them understand, like Rey literally, like Rey feeling that, might lead a new rebellion and call that rebellion Skywalker. Or some very, like, it still wouldn't, yet again, it doesn't really make sense. It's a tough, like, when I read that title, it irks me, only because I'm like, it's so like, the fucking name itself is so fucking important. I am trying my hardest not to, like, rip this shit apart of, like, what could it be? Because every other title is just kind of
knew what was going on.
Exactly. Or it was at least generic enough where you went, okay, and, like, you didn't have to, but the problem is they fucking throw the actual term in this one.
And it's not the Skywalker, it's just Skywalker.
Skywalker, which is so...
Because if you put in the, that could mean, like...
Well, it means singular.
Correct.
Which means something
Or
major.
it could mean a collective singular.
Yes.
Like
yes. Or
the people.
Yes.
The Skywalker meaning a group of
it could have been
Jedi
the fucking
users.
family of Skywalkers.
Correct. But the other thing is, like, at the end of episode 8, Luke's like, I'm not going to be the last Jedi.
Yep.
They're going to live on. And then you see Broom Kid.
Yep.
So, I don't know. But the trailer itself, it killed me. I was crying. There's a lot of amazing imagery. Kylo, like, choke slamming some dude in, like, a battle.
Yep.
His helmet getting reforged by some creature. They have, like, furry hands. It's not him.
That's what I thought. I thought it was him at first,
helmet.
but I had to relook at it a couple times. Rey and Leia.
Rey and Leia. Like, it blows my mind that they said they're not using any digital...
And she's
they're not
right
doing
there.
any Grand Moff Tarkin in Rogue One. They're not resurrecting a dead actor.
Yep. But she's right there, and in a big scene, like in a
which
scene that's
kind of blows my mind, because you can cast a stunt double, you can have the body double for the hug,
and CGI
and for
the face.
for the first shot, you could CGI her face on there. But they said they're not doing that. They're not pulling a Paul Walker here,
very interesting.
Which blows my mind that they're not doing that. That they're using unused footage from episode 7 and some from 8.
Yep. To put it together.
It's crazy.
It's very interesting.
But what really excited me is, the flip, and then we got word that this is an adventure of the group. The group is going on an adventure.
Yes, which I'm so happy for.
Again, he's throwing shade at episode 8, where we fractured everybody.
Yep.
Which is kind of what happened in Empire. They all got fractured, and by Jedi, they all came back for the Battle of Endor.
And that's what I was going to say. I didn't have initially a problem with that, because that's happened in the series before, and it is good to have characters do their own thing.
Yeah.
I was just upset at the stories each of the characters did.
Correct.
I would have rather had way more developing scenes, and I wasn't a big fan of really any of them. Like, even Finn's, I was just like, okay. Like, it just, like, even in the midst of the movie, I went, fuck, this seems like a TV show side story that should have happened. That people
it sounds
would
like something
been
that would happen on Rebels or Clone
Wars,
Wars, like the wacky episode,
100%.
where they're like they're all the monsters running through town,
exactly.
And those are my least favorite episodes of Rebels and Clone Wars.
This is going to sound even funnier. You know what? I would have more had that be and would have been okay with if that was Finn's backstory, and then somehow fucking like his girlfriend died and then fucking like went trooper, even though it doesn't make sense because he was a clone and they talk about that. And then even we see fucking Lando and the goddamn Millennium Falcon again.
Yeah.
Like there's so many good. I'm just excited. I mean, there's a lot of people that have been talking shit about this new trilogy, but I've been a fan of all of them personally. Yeah. Like, listen, I can sit there just as long as you can and pick a ton of things apart, because there are things to pick apart a lot more than some of the other stuff. But But I'm still just super excited. I'm excited to see what the Force can do. I mean, Rey's Force powers even Episode 7. I mean, that was a problem technically I had in the beginning, but I've been running with it ever since. Of she's just connected with the Force. Right. She's almost one with it way more than any other Jedi we've ever seen.
I mean, she goes toe to toe with a trained lightsaber fighter.
Within literally technically movie time, within 30 minutes. Like literally just goes from not knowing the Force at all to mind tricking someone, and then just going toe to toe with a fucking Jedi master who trained with fucking Luke motherfucking Skywalker.
And then at the end of 8, she moves all the rocks.
She moves
like
fucking
Luke
everything.
could barely move like one rock to begin, and then it was the big moment when he raises the X-wing out of the Dagobah swamp.
Yep.
And here she's just doing whatever.
She's pulling that shit.
I never had a problem with that because for me, I always thought there'd be always thought we'd get the explanation as to why she's so in tune with the Force.
I was hoping.
Whether it's she's just has such latent abilities that it's almost like the Force is using her.
Yes.
Like it's a symbiotic itself. And rather than you using it, it is helping you.
Well, what I was also gonna possibly use as an excuse too is because of the fact of like the Force always needs balance, and because there's no longer Jedi. That all of what normally there would be millions of Jedi to be able to balance, Rey's channeling almost all of it to be able to counteract.
It's almost like Wi-Fi.
Exactly.
You've only got your Xbox on. You got all the bandwidth, baby. Yeah.
Yeah, that was the one thing I thought, but they're not. That's the only. I mean, that's the biggest thing. I shouldn't say the only thing, because that's wrong. The biggest thing that's irked me about the franchise is like this is the one I need them to lore dump me on. I need scenes that give me lore dump, and I know usually people hate that in movies. I need it in this because I need like 15 things to be like, oh my god, I can finally breathe, and every fucking fanfic can stop putting up.
And we thought we were getting that in 8.
Yes.
And
now, let's summarize the last fucking minor topic on this trailer, and then we can wrap up this
Oscar Isaac
podcast.
needs to play Nathan Drake.
There it is. Boom.
I literally said that when I was watching the trailer, and then I saw memes. and they were like, oh, the Star Wars copied off of Uncharted. I'm like, well, he's wearing like he's got like a scarf. But...
It's ridiculous. Yeah. Last topic. Troy Baker's mad that he's not playing Reese in Borderlands 3, even though they talked about it back and forth 36 times. No. Palpatine's laugh. It's clearly Palpatine's laugh. I don't give a fuck what anybody says.
He's back.
He's 100% back. Now, do you think, this is what I thought, when you see that one scene where they're showing off the very blue sky and the fucked up thing, do you think that is the blown up Death Star?
It's 100% one of the Death Stars.
Blown up Death Star? Yes.
So...
But now, and then here's the thing though. This is the one thing I'm very confused about. Why do you think they're bringing him back? What do you think the significance of bringing back Palpatine is?
I watch a show. Well, I am a devotee of the website Collider. I watch all their video content. I read everything. So they have a weekly show called Jedi Council. For weeks and months, Christian Harloff has been advocating that Palpatine will be back.
Yes.
He does have some insider info. He doesn't have some other stuff. He didn't know. He just advocated that Palpatine's always coming back.
Yeah.
And I tended to agree with him because I feel like it's kind of poetic to have the Emperor, Palpatine, be the entire overarching 9-film villain.
I agree. I agree with that sentiment, definitely.
You know, why would you set up the store with Darth Plagueis the Wise in Episode 3 and have that not pay off?
Yes.
Now, at the time, he tells Anakin that to try to sway him to the dark side so he can save Padme so she doesn't die in childbirth, all that stuff.
Yes.
But if Palpatine really is Sidious, and his teacher really was Darth Plagueis, and Plagueis taught him everything,
especially
he killed his master,
immortality.
He's got it, why wouldn't he use it?
Yes.
You know what I mean? So I always felt like, 7 and 8, it really wasn't in the back of my mind that Palpatine could be a thing.
Yeah.
Because I wanted Snoke. I was like, Snoke is the new bad guy.
Yes.
And 8, you're like, oh, he isn't the bad guy.
And here was my thing. I know a lot of people got mad about that. I'm at least happy, and I feel like you'll appreciate this in some sentiment. Of course, there's things we could pick apart about it. I am glad, though, that we saw in a big AAA movie franchise that we actually got something that we haven't seen, in my opinion, in movie history in a very long time, which is a red herring. I don't think we've seen a good red herring in a movie in a very long time. Now,
I think part of that is because Rian Johnson wanted to do his own thing and didn't want to follow a blueprint, and he was bucking 100%. The system.
He clearly was, and he was a teenager writing a Star Wars movie. Oh, did you put in this cool villain? Fuck that. Kylo's going to be my main villain.
For better or worse, I think that's what he was going for.
I mean, clearly, dude, this is going to sound really funny. I paralleled the director to literally writing, you could tell in that movie that he was so much more trying to get Kylo as the main character. Even Kylo says, I think what he thought as a director of literally let the past die. Like, he literally was like, we're killing the past in this fucking movie. I am going, whether for better or for worse,
Yeah.
I'm going to make a significant change in this franchise. Like, in this trilogy, I am the one that is literally going to be the fucking turning point of... And
guess what? Now JJ turned it back.
Exactly.
That's what they want.
Exactly. And, like, that's the thing. I could argue with them back and forth, but listen, JJ followed a very semi-set blueprint on episode 7. It was
worked.
very... And it worked very
awesome.
well because it was New Hope.
Yeah.
Which isn't bad. I love New Hope, and I'm okay with the new rendition of New Hope. I don't know why everyone's like, oh, it's fucking new... Did you fucking hate New Hope? Because I'm pretty sure everybody and their mom thought it was the greatest fucking movie of all time.
I mean, he had to reinvigorate a franchise and bring back the people who loved it.
It would literally,
just like he did with Star Trek.
It would literally
he did the exact same thing.
That's
with
what I'm
Star
saying. It would literally be like another dumb example, but like this is what would drive me insane if they ever, which they wouldn't, and I hope to God they never do. But if they ever tried to bring back the Matrix and just have it be like new characters, are they?
Yeah.
I did not know that.
Michael B. Jordan is set to...
That'd be dope. That'd be dope as shit.
They talked about it.
But hypothetically, if they started it and it followed a very set blueprint as the first movie, and people are like, oh, that's copy and pasting. Fuck off! The first movie's the fucking greatest movie of all time. Like, I will fight anybody on that. One of the greatest movies of all time. But anyway, so going back, sorry, because we're getting off topic. I'm trying to wrap this up soon. So, Palpatine is going to be very interesting.
So, what I think is, it only makes sense to me that he... Whether or not he was puppeteering Snoke, whether or not he was, he was the puppet master,
I'm going to feel like it's going to have to be.
He reincarnated himself, resurrected himself, didn't die.
Yep.
Voldemort learned how to bring himself back.
Yes.
And it would be dumb if he learned how to do the Horcrux and use Horcruxes and didn't come back. You'd be like, fucking idiot.
Exactly.
Palpatine knows how to come back.
Yep.
And I 100% think they're at the second Death Star.
Yes.
And that crash landed at some planet in the system.
And he is just
maybe actual Endor itself.
Yep.
And for some reason, the crew needs to go there.
Yeah.
And that's what their end goal is.
What I was even thinking was, which this can't, well, I shouldn't say it can't happen, but I was very interested to see if Palpatine ends up becoming the main villain, and it's almost a race on both sides to kill him. Because Rey's obviously trying to kill him because Palpatine's the bad guy, trying to obviously bring balance to the Force and at least stop him. Or, just if anything, too, maybe even try to converse with him and just even understand where the fuck he's at. And obviously the whole crew's going there. Because maybe, say, Palpatine does some Force things, fucking blows something up 86 planets away or something. Yeah. You know what I mean? Right. Obviously bring him into the fold fucking somehow. But Kylo might discover him and literally just be trying to get after him because kill the past. And on top of it, Kylo's trying to be the ultimate power... Or just try to kill him to get immortality. Yeah. Literally be like, oh, do I just have to murk him to be immortal?
Yeah.
Fuck that. And then we could see a really cool... But then the thing I'm worried about is if
that's a replaying of Return of the Jedi.
You're 100% correct. And the thing I'm more worried about is if Kylo turns at the end.
Yeah.
Like, and then it becomes a, let's do another epic team-up. Which... Yeah. I'm so torn because the throne room in episode 8 is one of my favorite fucking scenes of all time.
Absolutely.
Of all time. Like, I fucking jaw dropped.
That and the final sequence in Rogue One.
I threw my fucking popcorn at the theater and was screaming. I was losing my fucking... I haven't done that at a theater in fucking decades. I was losing my absolute shit. And, like, if we can get a scene where both of them are just fucking going to town, because...
Even just one-on-one.
Yes.
Yes.
The thing I love about... Oh, that's all it's been building to, too. I need to see...
That would be a nice echo of 7.
Yes.
The forest battle of it's kind of like the role reversal. He was the one in power, and she's kind of learning.
Yep.
But now it would be.
And what I'd love too is if we did get a episode 6, because JJ is very good at callbacks. What I'd love is a semi episode 6 moment where Palpatine is sitting. They both meet up. It's fucking Kylo and Rey, and they're at the Death Star, and they're just, that's the battle.
Yeah.
The battle, Palpatine's going, yes, like, fucking, you know what I mean?
Unlimited power.
As, exactly, like, literally, he's just fucking chiming in, and he's fucking with both of them.
Yeah.
So then both of them start fighting out of fucking hatred, but then it's the difference of Rey can snap out of it and be like, wait, I've learned from fucking, like, like my fucking master and everything
else. And then she shrinks down and
back.
goes up his bald hole and blows
Bingo,
him up.
and then blows him up. Exactly.
And then it all comes back to Avengers.
And then it's all fucking set. Jesus Christ.
The thing is, I'm incredibly excited for this movie. This trailer
100%.
got me so hype.
100%.
I'm so sad we probably won't get another movie for 2 or 3 years.
Oh, yeah.
They announced they're taking a hiatus.
Yep. Which they should do as well. But
nope, I want one movie every year. I don't want it to end.
But they're going to take more time. They're going to get writing. It's going to be good. It's going to be good. I'm glad they're not copying and pasting. I'm glad they're taking the time. It's just like with video games. Come on. Listen, do we want a video game every year to be entertained? Absolutely. But come on, they got to take the time. You gotta take the time, make it that much more impactful.
But we are getting the Mandalorian.
Yes, we fucking are, and that shit looks
Which is,
bananas.
Very good.
Anyway, Kyle, thank you so goddamn much for being on.
You want to keep talking about Star Wars?
Yeah,
for 2
right?
hours?
Oh my god. See, that's a problem with you, Kyle. You and me can riff for so fucking long, and we haven't caught up in a while, so it's good. I apologize for everybody.
Talk about Star Trek. I mean, you got me.
I apologize for everybody for how fucking long this is.
That's what
I'm
she
really,
said.
I'm gonna even cut this down in editing as much as I can, but obviously we talk about a lot of important stuff. Kyle, before I 100% wrap this up, I would love if you did shout out to yourself and the podcast and everything that you're doing,
me.
all the projects. Yeah, absolutely, my
Yeah,
dude.
so I am co-host of a podcast called The Ones Who Watch. This weekend we're recording episode 100. So we've been on the air for about 2 years.
Very big.
So
very
check
big
us out. We're The Ones Who Watch at SoundCloud, TuneIn, Stitcher, Google Play, iTunes, literally any place you can find podcasts.
Yep. On a side note too, from an actual listener, the podcast is fucking amazing. The way you guys analyze
Not go
movies.
that far, but thank you.
Stop. The way you guys analyze movies, go over stuff, really go in for how much into specifics. You even go into background knowledge of fucking directors and what the hell's happening behind the scenes. It's very important. There's so many podcasts or just even people doing movie reviews and talk about stuff, and it's very one-dimensional. Mm-hmm. Oh, the movie does this. It only follows this trope. You guys really do show a thorough understanding of not just the material, but the knowledge and the effort and what people are doing to put that into a project, which fucking shows. So anyway, sorry.
Yeah, no, and we, like you said, there's a million movie podcasts.
Yes.
And we want to be more about our opinion. So when we're talking about a news topic, we play take it or leave it. So, I'll present the topic. Dave, what do you think? You taking it, you leaving it, and then we have a discussion about it. If he hates it, I love it, then we're going to go back and forth. So, but yeah, you can find us on every social media platform, Instagram, Twitter, Facebook. We have a blog that Dave rips me apart every week because I never update it. But you can find us at The Ones Who Watch and all of that. So, yeah, give us a like, give us a listen.
Yes, definitely check them out. They are absolutely fucking amazing. So thank you again, Kyle.
No,
this has been fucking phenomenal. Please feel free to come on anytime. I've been telling that to everybody, but absolutely come on anytime. I love having you on. So on that note, guys, as always, good evening, good night, and good luck. Bye, everybody.